never threw his chip at the mansion, so we're gonna say he's still at the tea house for convenience sake.
All right.
Yeah, because I'm not lazy storytelling or anything. All right, so if we all remember last time, quite a bit went down. You guys are dealing with the aftermath of a coordinated attack by the Brotherhood against the Jaegers. You rolled into town after needing to B.A. Baracus, our dwarven friend Uzra, onto your spectral steeds. You have found out that not only has the Brotherhood been moving and doing their own thing here, there's been some murders, and there seems to be a lot going on in the town of Lanier, which is the coastal town to the south. While some of you went to investigate, talk to a local temple about movings and shakings of the groups, and were unfortunately held at knife point after some poorly decided showing of cult paraphernalia, which didn't go well at first. And then the rest of you decided to take on the responsibility of possibly investigating any connection with the murder of the local magistrate. Blackfeather, you finding out, unfortunately, that this was actually a relation of yours. You may not have known him too well, but he wasn't a giant douchebag or anything like a good part of your family is. Then Adventure decided, feeling that investigation was not his forte, which decided to, I guess, go and blow off some steam about the current events. And after accosting a older gentleman in town, thought he had received directions to a whorehouse. It was not till services were paid for and events began that he realized he was actually at a swanky tea house sort of place. Frustrated, he left, went back to the street demanding the old man make himself known again so that he could have a conversation, where he was stopped by the local guard. To his luck, he used his handy-dandy invisibility ring, gifted to him by his new BFF Blackfeather, to to end up the most unstealthy invisible barbarian escape ever, as he knocked everything over in his path at that point. Most of you met back up at the manor, where, with Ulgran's assistance, he was able to get into the Intellectus device, which housed many of the magistrate's secret records, and his companion, our friend with an accent from the distant land of Bostonia, was able to access and download, and you all proceeded to head back to the inn. Around this time, it is 8 in the morning. You guys have the remainder of this day, the entire next day, and half a day to stop whatever the Brotherhood is planning to do. Which, what little you know is, they're planning to basically reverse a long-term enchantment placed by the Druids that keeps the western continent of Thek, at least from the Cerebrial Mountains east, from becoming overrun with more violent and stronger creatures. So, with that, we will hop on in. Oh, if I could just get the map to load. There we go.
Sounded like Bane there for a second.
All right. Ooh. Stupid map needs to zoom out a bit. you guys, I would say, are currently en route from here at the Magistrates complex. You are now currently heading here to the Lazy Dockman, which is the inn you were directed would be the best place to go by the guard captain when you came into town. And as you guys are walking, Ulgren lets you know that while him and Malmore had been on their way back from the temple, Malmore had noticed something and without a word seemed to go off in a hot foot pursuit after someone. Unfortunately, some bad placed footing and an invisible barbarian in his path, Ulgren ran smack into Adventure and lost Malmore. A little frustrated with that, he lets you all know that he will actually go back to where he lost Malmore, and he's going to try to track him down because he feels you all need to get back together as soon as possible if you guys are going to have any chance of getting stuff done. And with that as well, Bragston lets you know that he has a number of contacts in the city, ones that may not really take too kindly to being introduced to strangers, and he says he's going to take the next little while, go try to make some overtures to his own contacts. And so he heads out and promises he will try to meet up with you guys back here at the Lazy Dockman later, or try to track you guys down himself later. So with that, Pourquoi has met up with you guys from the lovely Silver Palace Tea House, and with that, you guys walk into the Lazy Dockman to at least get your rooms set up and discuss your next steps. So you guys head into the Lazy Dockman, and it is now the 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. time period. What would you guys like to do?
Well,
I'm going to order a coffee and get a table.
Yeah, I suppose that's a good start.
ale.
Pour me
So
coffee.
you guys sit down, order breakfast, beers, and coffee all around, and I guess discuss your next steps. So as you guys are waiting for food, go ahead.
So what'd we learn?
Well, up at the palace, there was a bloody massacre going on up there. Turns out my cousin was running the show, and he got killed during it. I'm not close to him or anything, but still, it's a hell of a way to start your birthday, you know? Fucking awful, in fact.
Oh, I'm sorry. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Birthday?
It is my birthday today. I had almost forgotten, actually.
Wish we had more time to celebrate, but
I know.
And with that, I'd actually wrote this out. I didn't know you were going to just jump right into it, Alex. While you guys are sitting in the bar, since this is a more affluent town, you have the bar has a magic speaking box, basically the equivalent of a radio. And as you're talking, Blackfeather, you hear over the radio a voice, breaking news from Neolia. Last night, starting at midnight, a somewhat up-and-coming thief known as Blackfeather was reported to have been responsible for 3 simultaneous crimes against different, somewhat questionable corporations in the city of Neolia. The only evidence found after the crimes were written notes signed Blackfeather with the strange message, "For my little lion tamer." We will give you continued reports as information becomes available.
I could be crazy, but I think they just said Blackfeather on that thing.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, okay. I'm already getting famous. I'm happy about this. Excellent.
Isn't that infamous?
Yeah, well, Infamous works for me too.
What did
Infamous,
you do?
famous. I'm all about it.
What did you
Okay.
do?
No, what did I do? Nothing. Nothing. I didn't do anything. I'm innocent. Except I'm not.
And if you do remember where the term "little lion tamer" comes from, Blackfeather,
I'm just rolling with it.
the one story you shared with me of you and your sister.
Oh God, you have to make me remember things I wrote to you weeks ago.
The two of you released a lion, a poorly treated lion from a circus, if you remember.
Yes.
And from that day, she has always, at times in private, referred you as her little lion tamer.
I'm buying breakfast for the whole goddamn run. I'm feeling good.
All right, mark off 2 gold. I'll cover breakfast for pretty much everybody in there.
Alrighty.
Oh, and if you want, mark +2 notoriety for Naolia now. So you're up to 3, I think, at this point. So
Where do I
you're,
mark down?
you had it in your notes somewhere. It was just a little thing you and I've been keeping track of as your brand becomes a little more well known. So
Alright,
just
listen.
yeah. So yes, your sister decided to give you a birthday present.
3 in Aodia. Cool. Nice. What did you guys learn at the temple?
Well, as neither of them are here,
Oh, I thought Uzer was there.
No, I was at the mansion.
Were you
with that, you actually hear clicking from your pack, Uzra, and Basil has actually been hanging out with you. And he hops up on the table and starts chittering and poking you at your notebook.
Okay, I'll roll with it and open up the notebook to a blank page.
Alright, he looks at the notebook and kind of looks at you and chitters more. Like, starts scratching. He starts scratching with his one of his little forceps thingies.
I'll give him a charcoal pencil.
Alright.
Put it down near him.
He kind of starts gripping it in his mouth very awkwardly, and you see him start writing down. So in a little bit, you feel that he may be able to relate some information if you want to give him a little bit to write
Sure.
that down.
All you, little buddy.
Alright, so he's... Do you guys want to talk about anything else while he is doing that?
On the dead bodies we found at the what is his name? Wervanian's place. They both had tattoos on them, and the stab wounds had like burn marks around them. I don't know how relevant that is, but if Volgren was here, the tattoos were some kind of code as well.
Do
Any
you
idea
want
where
to...
we should head next?
Well, yeah, from the computer we ascertained that there was a warehouse that the Brotherhood was using, and they were operating out of there, or at least they were operating something out of that area. And we found blueprints for a city, a sub-city that used to exist under this existing city. So, I mean, these kind of clues kind of point for us to check out this warehouse and see what the hell the cultist group was up to, or at least even try to catch up with them before they get to do what they're doing.
Does the map align with the warehouse? Is that the way into the underground city?
I didn't really look at the blueprint so much. It was a alt-grand thing.
Did you
so-
say underground?
Underground? Yeah. Under the court.
I can't tell you how tired I am of being underground.
I mean, we have Shiloh with us. Maybe we can blow a significant hole in the underground.
This is a town with people in it. Maybe we shouldn't light it on fire?
Gas explosions happen all the time. That's what I'm told anyway.
Notoriety plus 10.
You do hear some additional chittering from Basil at this point. As you look down, the first part you see, very beautiful handwriting, but a strange dialect of common. He says, well, we found out that Altgrand is not that bright when it comes to interactions, and it seems these religious blokes don't like the other religious blokes, and they sold Altgrand a bunch of stuff and said that they'd be willing to help look into the Brotherhood. You should check back later with them. And then he has started a new paragraph because he overheard you guys talking about the information that you guys achieved from the computers. Well, the Intellectus, sorry. So, computers, what the hell's that?
Intellectus.
Yes. You see, it says there, and I won't continue with my bad approximation of Basil, is that the only information on the computer is that your cousin took bribes, put them in touch with key individuals at the Trade and Commissions office, and as well as individuals at the university. You believe the information about what warehouse they're in would most likely be at the Trade and Commission office, and the university would definitely be where local history would be researched, and they could tell you what the significance of the underground city is, where it comes out, and anything like that.
Right.
Oh, I'm off to the library then.
You like the library.
And of course, if you guys want, we can just assume you ask the innkeeper where those things might be located.
Yeah.
All right. So if
Or to ask the old man.
Different tea house.
All right. So if you look at the map, you'll see there in what is called Docktown is where the Trading Customs Office, is. And then, unfortunately, this rather large marked white area here is the main university campus.
Got it.
There's a number of buildings, libraries, and other such things there. Additionally, you guys have not checked in with the local Jaeger office to see if they have any information.
Didn't the Jaeger office blow up?
Yeah, but you haven't checked in to see if anybody's alive or dead or what's going on with that.
Where'd they say that was in, someone mentioned it. I don't think I've noted.
Right there. Hold on.
See it.
It's wrong there.
Okay. Wasn't it next to something? I might be remembering wrong.
I think you are. I've marked it on the map for you. Additionally, you also mentioned, I don't know if you remember, last time Blackfeather, you could also attempt to reach out to the local Thieves Guild if you wanted to.
It's on my list of things to do. Yep, it is.
All right.
Apparently, they're not so happy right now. So, is there anybody in the room that looks of a certain ilk? If I use my perception.
Go ahead and roll a perception. I mean, there are some shady looking people in the building, but nobody that stands out. It is also pretty early in the morning. You think possibly if you waited around a little bit, or if you went to maybe a different bar, if you ask around, you may be able to find the right bar to go to and flash the right signs and get someone to reach out to you.
I think I'd like to ask around the bar for that exactly.
All right. You talk to the bartender. He seems a little wary. If you want to roll a charisma check, because all the stuff going on now. Someone's asking where. Basically, you're trying to subtly ask, where can I find thieves? with that, he's gonna say he doesn't give you a name in particular, but he says a lot of though just says those types of people giving you one of those up and down looks can be found actually outside of town in the Shady Nook. If you look past the university, past the warehouse district, there's a little dive bar on the outskirts of the walls called the Shady Nook.
Okay. Sounds good. Guys, I am inclined to go ask around with the Thieves Guild to see what's going on, and I'm also inclined to go to the Trade and Customs office later. If anybody wants to tag along with me, that's fine. If we want to split up and cover more ground, that's fine as well.
I'll go with Blackfeather.
I still want to go to the university.
Yeah, I'm thinking the university as well.
We split then.
Pourquoi? Do you have a preference?
No, I don't.
Alright. Or, I mean, you can always go back to the Silver Palace if you want to.
Do not go back there. In fact, Blackfeather, if you'd like to stop there with me, I'd like to burn that place down.
Sila's the burning things down kind of person.
Not on purpose, really. A little bit. Just.
Alright, so, Blackfeather and Adventure are heading to Shady Nook.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just getting my notes clear here so I can keep track of everything. And Shyla and Uzra are heading to the university. And Pourquoi? Okay. Little more your interest level there, Pourquoi.
Yeah.
All right. So, you guys can travel together for a little while, pretty much from where everything's located. Team Shady Nook will be dropping Team Bookworm off at the university and continuing on to Shady Nook. Anything you guys want to talk about on the way? Any other plans? Just like you want to do before you split up?
No, I think we're ready.
So we learned about the University and Trading Commission's office from the Inelectus, is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
He kept things purposely vague, knowing that if it was ever found, he wanted to at least not have, here's everything guilty I've ever done, like, he didn't want to completely lay it all out there.
Okay.
So, yep.
Did Basil write anything else?
Just mostly about that. He did say that, there were a couple personal notes in there. One, the magistrate was wary. He was worried that they would turn on him. He was looking to try to gather enough information that if he needed to, he could report them to the local guard or even take it directly to the Jaegers if he needed to get himself out of trouble with this. Additionally, there was just one note saying that he had received inquiries from Neolia directly from the ambassador for the basically the ambassador from the High Elves themselves about a company called okay, I have too many windows open, it's hard to read stuff. Lyceum Limited.
What was that about Lyceum Limited?
There was an inquiry by the ambassador of the High Elves about a company that had recently been had a office started here in Lanier called Lyceum Limited.
All right. Thanks, Basil.
He chitters, climbs back on your backpack, grabs on, and seems to kind of almost go into a sleep mode, as Ulkrand is not nearby.
Cool.
All right, and with that, that will take you guys through, with travel time, talking, eating, that takes you through the 8 to 10 o'clock hours, so you are now into the 10 to 12 o'clock time, as you guys make your way to the university and Shady Nook. So, we'll start with Team Shady Nook. They drop Team Bookworm off at the university and make their way outside of town to the Shady Nook. So, Blackfeather, Adventurer, and Pourquoi, any plans you want to make before you go into the Shady Nook?
Oh, striding in.
All right.
Is the guard in this area out of town?
There is guard everywhere in the town. If there is
Well,
something
you said this was out of town.
It's still part of the town. It's like this. It's just outside the city walls. This is still one town. I don't know. Adventure, is there something you want to mention to your team?
Blackfeather, I had a little run-in with the guard on my venture. No pun intended.
You didn't literally run into them, did you?
In fact, I did. A couple of them, actually. So they might be looking for me. And if they do, I'm not in a great mood. So I wouldn't expect much in way of restraint.
Okay, can you maybe put on the ring then, so they don't see you?
What ring?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use the ring, big guy.
Yeah, I don't think I'm good.
All right.
You've nothing to be afraid of. I'll protect you.
Well, we'll roll with the punches as they come.
By the by, Pourquoi and Adventure, I have something very amusing planned for you two down the road.
The misadventures of Portland Adventure.
Yes.
So we walk into Shady.
As you walk up, it's a very run-down building. You can tell this is the type of neighborhood that any respectable dweller of the city would quickly put his hands in his pockets, keep his eye line down on the sidewalk, if you will, and quickly get the hell out of the area. There's a lot of trash. Things are dirty.
How dare you?
How dare I what?
Never mind.
There are a few abandoned buildings, a lot of broken windows. You're surprised at the number of people just out and loitering at this hour, but then you look around the area and you're like, well, maybe just they don't have anywhere else to go. You come the steps down into the Shady Nook. It's kind of look like the building has slowly sunk a bit, and as you think about it, it looks like you're in a more marshy area, so it looks like all the buildings have been sinking a little bit over the years here. So steps were added down to a front door, which at one time may have actually been at street level. As you open the door is a low, squat room, pretty darkly lit. It is decently packed for this hour of the morning. There does not seem to be any entertainment the standard way. You don't hear any music. You see a lot of gruff-looking, somewhat coarse individuals. But you do see a number of gambling games going on as you step in. I would say there's 8 people just sitting up at the bar, a couple tables of different people, and then there's at least 2 or 3 people at 3. There's 3 gaming tables, about 2 or 3 people a piece at each.
Okay. I'm going to call Yennefer to my shoulder so that she's riding right next to me on my shoulder.
And so big, like, you guys got to remember, Yennefer is about 1.5 to 2 foot tall on your shoulder.
Okay.
She is a big bird.
No one's
Like-
going to miss the big black feathers. Yes.
Yeah. And you
Am
all
I
walk.
able to? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. What's your question?
I guess I needed to know what the situation ended up being, but I was going to ask if I could walk in nondescriptly and take a seat somewhere close to wherever Blackfeather would end up.
This is one of those bars with there's only one entrance in, and when you open the door, you are spilling a lot of light into the room. Like, it's not a bar you can be unnoticed. I mean, yeah, you can.
Oh, I don't care if I'm noticed. I'm saying
yeah.
I'd like to be able to walk in separately from Blackfeather, unless we've already walked in. In which case,
whatever. No, just Blackfeather. You say you want to hang back a minute and come in on your own. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and then sit somewhere close to wherever he's gonna end up.
So we'll get to you in a second then. So Blackfeather, Pourquoi, are you following him in, or are you gonna hang back too?
No, I'll follow.
Yeah, he can come in with me. It doesn't matter.
All right, 2 of you head on in. Blackfeather, you've been in plenty of places like this. This is almost home in a way. Though you do note, at least in your head, it's a little even dirtier than, like, at least the dens in Noyolia, they have a little more class and pride. Like, they may be thieves, but, a higher class of thief is usually what you deal with. But you're not, in no way are you uncomfortable with this scenario. So what do you do?
I'm going to walk up to the bar and put a couple of simple coppers on there to pay for a few drinks for everyone who's sitting there. Good evening, everyone.
A couple people look up at you. Nobody really responds. The closest guy to you is, but when the bartender sees how many coppers you put down, and you look at the bartender, he's not a good-looking fellow, a little grizzled, one eye's nearly closed due to scarring and what may be a skin condition. And the other eye bulges and is a little bloodshot, but he kind of counts the coppers, looks at you two, and then kind of raises the eyebrow of the bloodshot eye at the And what's this all for? How much? What do you want?
Just paying for some drinks and maybe a little bit of information, if you know the right people to talk to.
He takes out 2 relatively clean glasses, plunks them down, pours you 2 of the house beers, and says, well, a number of people would have information. What you looking for?
What am I looking for?
What are we looking for?
Are you asking me, the DM, or are you asking each other?
Each other.
Okay.
Is this through the ring, or?
No, they're just sitting there talking to each other.
Oh.
You're outside on your lonesome.
I'm looking for people making moves in a warehouse district. They're probably some sort of cult. You might have noticed somebody wearing a lot of weird robes, that sort of thing.
But not me.
He kind of... He takes a step back, like, I don't know about any of their religious folk. A lot of things move through the warehouse.
You know anybody who knows about the warehouse district?
There are some people, but they don't like talking to strangers.
Well, I can be generous if I need to be.
A lot of people, anybody can be generous, friend. Guards can be generous too. And I don't know you.
I'd like to walk in at this point and have a seat somewhere near them.
Door opens. Most of the other patrons just look up. Couple start. I mean, you're a big guy, adventure, and you are in like tans and hides and stuff. So they're little. The bartender spooks a little bit more. You notice Blackfeather and Pourquoi, like when seeing maybe the conversation, the topics you were bringing up, he spooked a little bit more.
Well, I'm Blackfeather. And if you don't know me, you might know some people higher up the food chain. So I need to talk to somebody here who's in charge of the Thieves Guild. Maybe you could help me with that.
Make a charisma check. He eyes you up and goes, may I heard that name before. In Thieves' Cant, he just says to you, basically, are you on the level?
Well, I make the sign back. Of course I am, fuckhead.
What's the sign for fuckhead?
Yeah, I guess it would be. It's up to you. You want to? What is the sign for fuckhead? Blackfeather.
A thumb in your mouth? I don't know.
There you go. All right. He nods and says, "I do know Terrence over there may be able to give you some information. Depends on the, I guess you could say, depends on the stakes you're willing to play for." And you see that he's pointing over in the general direction of one of the gaming tables.
All right. So I walk over to the gaming table and I eye it up. I want to give it a good eye.
Alrighty.
We'll investigate them.
Alright, go ahead. Alright, yeah, it's a standard gaming table, pretty much a card table. You could play any number of card games. Around here, a popular game would be, you could do dice or cards. And from what you see around you, the two games it looks like everybody's playing are either Gambit of Ord or Avendar's Favor.
Those are very pretty names. I'm not sure how to make a decision.
Gambit of Ord is a card game. It is standardly a 50 gold buy-in. We would... and then... yep. Avendar's Favor is a dice game, usually 25 gold buy-in.
We're going to do the 25 gold buy-in then.
All right.
And I whisper through the ring, hey, you guys want to gamble?
Yes.
Adventure.
At the same table?
So at this point, you see a more middle-aged half-elf, somewhat generic. Make with that investigation check, you can tell from your experience, it's purposefully so. Like, you can see a little bit of makeup from a disguise kit. The clothes are tailored just right. He puts a lot of effort into being as almost bland and forgettable as possible. He looks up and goes, "Well, hello. I see from and hear from a friend over there that you're looking for some information.
Yeah, I am looking.
Why don't we play a game? Just talk for a bit. You and your friend can sit down, and honestly, the large friend of yours that's trying not to look like he's with you could come over and play too."
Like to yell across the room, I'm not with them.
Playing
he
coy.
he chuckles a little, and he goes, "Well, he looks like a big strapping lad anyway. Why doesn't he come on over and we can play a little bit?"
I come over and sit down and say I'm not with them.
Sure you aren't, lad. Alright, what game do you want to play? We got Gambit of Ord and Avandar's Favor.
Let's go with favor.
Alright. He takes out a couple cups with some dice in it, places them all down, and says, since, any of y'all played this before?
Have I played this before?
Right?
Yes. Definitely Pourquoi, Blackfeather, you would have played this before. Adventure, not so much. So, it's a simple dice game. You get 2d6. If they add up to 7 or 12, you win. And then, hold on, Adventure.
I didn't mean it.
Then you continue. If nobody gets 7 or 12, the pot stands, you go again. You can double the bet, so you drop down another 25 gold. You can add 1d6 to the total to try to get that hand up to 7 or 12.
I think I understand. Okay.
He's like, so, you two gentlemen look like nice, refined city folk. I don't know about my large friend here. Have you ever played the game before?
Did the character just explain that, or did you just explain
I explained it to you guys, but Adventure, I don't know if your background, you would have played a city dice game much.
Sure, yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure I've played dice games before, but never this. No, I just shake my head.
Alright, how about this time around, how about 25 gold for the lot of you, and we'll call it a practice game.
Done.
Alright. Alright, gentlemen, go ahead, roll your dice, and may Avandar be with you.
Are we all rolling or just one?
Yep, you can all roll.
Hey.
And hold on. And with that, Blackfeather, a nice swish of the wrist, comes up to him and goes, you seem to be a lucky fellow. With that, you can mark, you guys earn 25 gold. Now, let's talk about what information are you looking for?
We're looking for a cult that's moved into town recently. They are engaged in some activities that could be dangerous for the entire region. So we're looking for any kind of weirdos that might have moved into the warehouse district.
Oh, you're talking about the Brotherhood.
Well, you know the Brotherhood.
I might. Let's say a round per question.
All right.
I know the Brotherhood.
Can I clear
So-
up that I just paid 25 gold and then I got back 25 gold? So what is the point of playing this game if I'm not earning money when I win?
No, you earn 25 gold.
So
He
I
put
spent 25 and I got 50.
Yes.
Got it. All right. That doesn't make
Yes.
sense for me.
So basically, he's offering you as a payment in a way. Every time you want to ask a question, you play a round. It would just be you and him, unless Pourquoi or Adventure would like to ask a separate question. They also would have to buy in.
Got it. I'm up for another round.
I can go again.
What question? So that's 50 gold down. Each of you can ask your question, and then if you win, you get the money back and he answers. If he wins, he keeps the money and decides whether or not to answer you.
Alright.
So, what questions do you want answered? My young up-and-coming friend.
I want to know what you know about the Brotherhood.
Alright. Lodge fellow. What
Do
would
you
like
know
to
where we can locate them?
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll, gentlemen. Hey, Adventure. You make 75 gold. Because, well, they're all over town. Rumors have told me that they're seen most heavily in coming and going from the warehouse district and from a certain building of a new company in the area.
Mm-hmm.
By the name of one Lyceum Limited. That's the best place to find them right now.
Yeah. Exchanged looks with Blackfeather.
Very interesting.
Now, a little free piece of advice before we continue, boys. I don't mess with the Brotherhood. I am willing to go up against the law, maybe even the high flyers themselves, but religious folk are crazy. You better watch yourself.
What do you think we should watch ourselves from? What's their biggest danger?
Let's play another round and see. Another 25 gold in.
I'm good too.
You want to play too? Do you have a separate question? Or are you both?
I guess that was premature. I'll rescind for now. I'll rescind it for now. No question.
Alright. Let's see here. Alright. Pot still stands. Well, what I could say to keep you interested that they've been looking into some pre-fall relics in the area. You know, Lanier used to be a fort town back when the forest folk and us low ground dwellers and the mountain folk all used to fight in this part. And a lot of weapons were made back then before those high flyers came down and said we all got to get along.
The way you're talking makes me think Matthew McConaughey is this person.
Sure, if that's how you want to picture him, like, yeah.
Like a greasy, dark colored, as in clothing, Matthew McConaughey.
Alright,
So-
alright.
Alright.
Wall Street. Like,
Yeah. Alright, so he's willing to go double or nothing for a 1d6 roll at this point. So you add that onto your total. Mine brought it to 10. Yours to 11.
Yep.
Oh. It's up to a 100 gold pot right now. Well.
Well, I think I have enough information to go basically to Trade and Customs Office and ask my questions. So the only other thing I've got for you is I'd like to know if you could do anything about maybe getting the guard off a particular person's back for the next, say, 48 hours.
That... What... If it's, what do you do?
I'm not sure.
Nothing of note.
Well, if it's nothing to
I'm
know,
pretty sure he's
why is the
completely
guard looking
innocent.
after
The
you?
guard-
Oh, aren't we all completely innocent?
Pretty sure he's innocent.
Just a run-in, you might say.
You didn't hit them, did you?
They were in my way.
Oh. How many are we talking?
Just one.
No, how many of the guards are we talking?
Ooh.
I don't know how many guards there are in the city.
No, no, son, I'm talking about how many guards you tussled with.
No. 6 or so. You said it yourself.
No, I
I'm a
know.
big guy.
No, leave the pot and throw another 25 in, and I'll take care of it. For a nice young up and comer, it's nice to have a favor from a rising star.
I appreciate that. I definitely add the gold to the pot.
All right. As you're putting the gold in, he grabs your hand, Blackfeather, and he looks you dead in the eye. Here's the thing. You may want to talk to the Shadow's Hand. I can set a meeting up. But they're a dangerous group. If you want more about the Brotherhood than I can give.
Do it.
And he leans back. No, the weird thing was, Adventure Pourquoi, you didn't hear this. You didn't hear this change in voice. You just saw him tap Blackfeather on the top of his hand. He said, well, boys, it's been nice. It's been fun. And he looks you in the eye, and Blackfeather just raises the eyebrow.
I give him the thieves can't for contact me later today. I'm interested.
With that, he smiles. He starts pulling the money in, and then as he's looking down, he reaches down. Oh, paid me one too many, son. Flips you a coin. Go ahead and make a dexterity check. Snap it out of the air.
Now you sleight of hand.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You guys don't. Not only
Behind
does
the back.
Blackfeather.
He
Not
did
only
a
does Blackfeather.
backflip before he caught it.
Well, no. Not only does Blackfeather get that coin, you feel in your hand, Blackfeather, it is actually a wooden token, and you slip a silver piece. You always keep up your sleeve just in case you want to make a switch out. And he nods you and says, "You all have a good day."
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
As you guys head out, do you take a look at the token, Blackfeather?
Yeah, circumspectly, but yeah.
All right. As a wooden token, it has simply a hand, very worn on the one side, and when you flip to the other side, all it says is the leaky tug on the back.
Yeah, sounds right.
I shove Papa.
I realized the other night, the minute I made that, I was like, yeah, that sounds like a fantasy venereal disease. Yeah. They're gonna say something. So, all right.
So
then.
we're gonna spend a little time in here drinking whatever the best they have is, because I don't want to get sick, and letting the guards, sort of get the word out that the
Yeah.
barbarian doesn't need to be arrested anymore.
It's not good. So you're gonna be nursing a drink or two for a while. You
Right.
can you're guessing that this bar has been kept up for many a year as a point of contact for the local thieves guild. They really don't care if it makes money. So the drinks are there kind of as a
Punishment? What?
a showpiece. Basically, if someone comes in not of the thieves guild and orders a drink, they're not coming back.
All right. I'm gonna
It's,
put one of my socks over top the glass and sieve.
It actually, it may not be the worst idea. Think of it as gastric camouflage. Yeah. All right. With that, as you guys enjoy the particularly lovely ambiance, at this point, the three of you would need to mark off 50 gold from your inventory. Whoever paid for the bed.
I paid for everything.
All right. Cool. All right. Back to Team Bookworm.
Yeah.
All right. With that, you guys are walking into the main campus. It's you can see that from what you can tell at the entrance, it has a actual long brick wall going off in each direction down the street in front of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And what you can guess is it actually encloses the whole campus itself. And above the gate, the gates are open, and you can tell easily they're pretty rusted. Like, you don't know how long it's been since these gates have been closed. They're very ornamental at this point. And you see above the gate, above the arch, in metal letters, script going across the top. What languages do you guys speak?
Common Dwarven and Elvish.
Just common for me.
Neither of you know what it says.
Let's hope
Do
it's
I realize possibly what kind of language it is? Like, is it identifiable?
Make a history check. Alright, that's good enough to, you recognize it from your time with, magic, that, it is actually Draconic.
That's
Draconic being
Draconic.
one of the oldest languages, and also cited as a root for many, of the arcane runes used in spellcrafting.
I'll try to copy it into my journal. Seems interesting.
Alright, so you take a minute. Shiloh, you're standing there with him, trying to look past the gate, like, ooh, this looks neat, but Oozer's being the tourist he always is. He's like, I gotta take pictures of everything, so he's...
Give me a second.
Yeah. Pretty much, Oozer's like that guy when you go to the botanical gardens, he reads every single plaque.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Can we just go?
Alright.
Alright. You guys come in. You can tell that originally, some of the older buildings you can tell used to be like residential buildings, and this was part of the city. But as the university grew and started absorbing this section of the city, some things were changed. And then what used to be really like what might have been a market in the center there really got torn down and turned into like a central I hate to use the term, but it's the quad, basically, in the center. You see a number of buildings around. There's a big, beautiful fountain in the middle, which is currently not on, as you guys are in the later end of fall, starting to get towards the winter months. So it is a little chilly out. You don't see a huge number of people walking around right now.
I want to
What
ask
do you
the
do?
closest person where the library is.
Oh, you see a young gentleman. Library? He just points to the east and that way, and
Great,
keeps
thanks.
going.
Well,
Go that way.
yes.
Yeah, it's as good as any direction.
Go ahead and make a survival check.
Survival.
I have not had one of those yet, and that's one of my highest skills.
We haven't done much outside of like cities.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm following her, so
All right. It takes you guys about 20, 30 minutes, and you realize you don't know exactly where you are. Before you is a building. You see one building in front of you, a building to your left, and then each of them you have a door facing you, and then a number of buildings to your right, but no obviously noticeable door. There are some windows at about Shyla height, not at Uzra height.
okay. Any like signs on the doors, like any kind of indicator what they are?
Make an investigation check. One of them says Weatherford Memorial Building, and the other one says Eisenworth Memorial Center.
There's a lot of dead guys.
How about that one?
Which one are you picking?
The last one.
Alright, we'll go there.
All right, you guys go in. It is a small front area. You see what appears to be an older dwarven woman at a desk, and you see there's a small staircase to the right, and then a solid wall with a door on the left.
I'm lost. Do you know which way the library is?
You'd think by the end of term you'd know where. Go out here, back to the quad. 3 buildings down, by the 2 standing trees, you'll see the doors there.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yes, dear.
I'll give her a quick thanks in Dwarvish too.
She just looks at the two of you with that, like, you all know it, the look any college administrator has, like, how you pay so much, I make
Fucking freshman.
so little. She doesn't even know if you're freshmen. Like, she's just, what do you do with your time? All right, go ahead and make a. Yeah, nah, you guys got good enough.
It was
so
pretty
good enough
direct.
directions.
Like,
Yeah,
pretty detailed
gonna
directions.
I was thinking of making you roll for the hell of it, but I was like,
Let's double down on East.
nah, yeah. All right, so you guys make it there. You see 2 nice big trees, the fountains to your back. 2 large double doors are closed, and it says Linear. Actually, you see a sign in Draconic above it again, and then a smaller sign that just actually has the library's hours posted on it, which you are well within the hours.
Does the Draconic look different than before?
Nope. Different.
Right, like, are they different
rooms.
characters?
Yes, there are some different characters, correct.
Oh, I'm pulling out the journal.
Oh, man, I hope they have some books in common. I'm going.
Yeah, I'll follow shortly. After I finish scribbling this down.
All right, you guys go in, and it is a beautiful, like, old university library. I'm talking like back when old marble buildings like this were still built almost as an expression of art themselves. Large columns, kind of almost the amphitheater feel, where it's like you have the ground floor, and the first floor is still open that you can see down to the ground level, and then the second floor is actually set a little further back, so to basically maximize the amount of light coming in from the skylights to help cut down on the cost of, at the time when this was built, probably candles, and now to just decrease the cost of using, Magitech lighting. It is a large open building with, you just see shelf upon shelf upon shelf upon shelf of books and scrolls. You even make a perception check, Usura, as you come in. You can even pick out from a distant, Usura, a number of dwarven, I guess you could call them story columns. An old form of dwarven writing was to write a story in a pattern down a piece of architecture, so that in a way the story would last so much longer than pen on paper.
That's
So you can. All right, and you guys come up to the main desk at the front of the library.
How many people are behind it?
There's a few. It's a large university library. You did hear her say it is near the end of term, so this is actually a busy time for them, and you can see a number of students, like, all over the place, like, seeming to be cramming last minute for exams and stuff like that.
I'm a little stunned. I've never seen anything like this. This is a library, right?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Not a temple?
No, it's a little different than the ones we have in Serbia, but feels similar, I suppose. I'll walk up to the desk and see if anyone's, noticing. Like, are they preoccupied or,
One person, it takes a minute, like, she goes, an older gentleman, small little spectacles at the end of his nose. Yes, may I help you?
Sorry to show up unannounced. I'll pull out the... What?
How may I help you?
Sorry.
Thank you.
I'll pull out the Jaeger symbol unannounced, or and put it on the desk in front of me, assuming that he recognizes it.
Yes. Hello. I know we call the guardsmen our officers, but do you have I've never met a Jaeger before. What do I call you?
Call me Uzra.
Jägermeister.
We're looking for a little bit of information, possibly books, possibly experts.
Okay. On what topic?
I personally am looking for a crackshot linguist, but
okay.
I'm sure there's other books. What were you sort of interested in trying to research, Shyla?
Yes,
You need to
Miss
know.
Uzra, is she? Do I call her Uzra too?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm Shyla.
Shyla. Oh, wait, Uzra's your name. Oh, hello. I'm sorry. It's just. Yes,
Nice to
Lady
meet you.
Shyla.
We're looking. Well, I'm looking. We're looking. It doesn't matter. I heard that there's a city under this city, and I need to know more about it and how to get into it.
Okay. Ooh. Well. That. Yes. The ruins of Linear are a fascinating bit of history. Now. Now the problem is you have both the historical society and the archaeology, and additionally the engineering. There are a few departments that try to lay claim to that information, and
Well, do you know anybody personally who's been there?
well, a few people have been down there, and unfortunately, now this is the main library, which we are supposed to house all, articles of reference for the university, but, many chairs and heads and important members decide to henpick items for their department's personal libraries, which
Well,
unfortunately.
I'm more interested in a person, because I don't read anything other than common.
Oh, well, I guess you could try. There would be the head of the historical society. That would be Professor. Oh wait, no, he retired last year. Iron Kettle. Yes, Professor Iron Kettle. And then there is the head of the archaeological department, which you would think that the two would get along, but of course not. That's Lady Silverwind. And then you could try. I mean, you could try the arcanic, the head of arcanic research. Well, no, I mean. The head of arcanic research as well may be someone you wish to talk to as well. That is. Oh no! Oh, we do have visiting Professor Bloodtusk. He's a very imposing fellow. It took us a lot to get him here. He's a very well-known arcanist from beyond the Serbial Mountains. Very often visas are not allowed, but he was invited here for a special research project.
When did he get here?
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 years ago now. Why is he? How is he still? Oh, that. I don't know why he's still here. I thought he was only supposed to be here. What year is it again? I mean, sorry, you lose track. Semester is semester, and
586. I think I have in my notes.
Okay, yes, 4.5 years. Sorry, 4.5 years. He's been. Now, if you wanted to, yes, I mean, we have some general historical information here about the Undercity and the history of Lanier. There is, of course, if you look, and he points back, there is a beautifully done sculpted map of the city that you could reference with some of the documents. That's why we have it here. But yes, definitely the people I mentioned would be the best people to talk to if you wish of first-hand information.
I definitely do. Do you maybe have a campus map as well? It's hard to find people.
Hold on. Not in the strictest sense, being with departments arguing about space and department sizes. Every few terms, buildings insides are changed. Departments move to different areas as they jockey for position with the dean of regents, and it's how about, and he provides the location, the building, and tries to give you the best directions for each of them. You think you should be able to do it without much trouble.
Any of these people experts on Celestial by chance?
Celestial, I mean, well, that's the linguistics department. I mean, additionally, I mean,
archaeology
no,
hasn't a side major.
Well, no, okay. I mean, Lady Silverwind, of course, would most likely. I mean, her field does inquire, but it depends on our focus. I mean, and he starts rambling a little bit about archaeological focuses for a bit.
I'll listen.
And okay.
Okay, maybe
Oh,
we can
sorry,
catch
dude.
up a little later. But we really
That would,
should go see Mr. Bloodtusk.
oh,
Right away.
all right. Oh, sure, okay. And please do come back if I can be of any assistance. And if you do happen to see any books or scrolls or items in their collections, any point picks up a book, and there you see on the spine of a book is an emblem of a closed book with a stylized L embossed. Because if you do see any of those, please ask them to return them. It's hard losing things, and they need to stop pilfering things.
I understand. I'll give him a very heartfelt, of course we will, kind of.
Oh, thank you. It's just we think we have it organized, and you just see like he's a little frazzled.
Yeah.
It is a tough job living in a world without a Dewey Decimal System.
Whoa.
Probably true.
All right, so you guys have a couple choices. Of the 4 people I mentioned, you could probably see 2 of them in the time you have remaining if you did not want to breach into your 12 to 2 o'clock time. If you wanted to breach into the 12 to 2 o'clock time, yeah, you could see all 4.
So who were you thinking of hitting up first?
I wanted to go see Bloodtusk because he hasn't been here very long. And, well, he sounds scary, doesn't he?
Yeah, it concerns me that they say he came from beyond Surreal. Generally, the only things that are too far beyond Surreal are orcs, and don't get along so well as a whole of the Dwarven Society.
Oh. Well, do you want to split up?
No, I'll try to restrain myself, but it does logically make sense
Oh.
to see him first. If he doesn't, if we don't find the information we need from him, I'm also thinking of Lady Silverwind. She might also be able to translate some of the Celestial we found.
Sounds good.
Are you talking about the tattoos?
Among other things, we had the tattoos, we had... Yeah, I thought I had something else in my notes. But yes, the tattoos for sure.
Okay. Alright, so you two head to visiting adjunct Professor Bloodtusk's lecture hall. Alright, you guys find your way there. And as you open up, you see, Uzer, you would be strangely surprised so far. From your time in the Artificer Academy, you were expecting something very different, but it seems educators the world over like these staggered auditorium-style rooms with the lecture hall, the podium, and the slate board down at the bottom. You're definitely getting somewhat nostalgic flashbacks to your time studying in your early time at the Artificers Academy.
Brings me back.
So as you open the doors, you see the lecture is currently going on. The lights are somewhat dimmer in the room, and there's a brighter light up front to read the slate board a little bit easier. And to your shock, Professor Bloodtusk is a half-orc.
Okay.
He stands about 7.5, 8 foot tall, very, very large gentleman. You can tell one tusk does protrude from his bottom lip. The other appears to be roughly broken. There are a number of scars up near the top of his hairline, and in contrary to this large, brutish fellow, he is actually wearing very exquisite but understated robes of an academic. And he is holding what would normally be a very large book that Shyla, even you would probably have to hold. The two of you would have to hold two-handed. It is a normal size paperback size almost in his hand. And oddly, instead of spectacles, he is wearing a monocle, a single glass lens in his eye to read. And his deep bassetto voice is rumbling at the front, and it actually takes you a minute. You almost have to wait for the door to close and your hearing to adjust till you realize he is in a very dry, monotone manner covering some. You recognize it definitely, Uzra. Shala, as your magic is more just natural, coming from the feelings inside, but you do notice a little. It is some high level, like, arcanic theory. Like, this is like a math professor standing up, literally just discussing theorems without actually drawing anything on the board. But yet every student that is in this room, which you notice are not many, seem to be right along with it, like taking notes. What do the two of you do?
Oh, I think I'll join in the note taking.
So do you try to make your way closer to sit and take notes?
Yeah, I'll find a empty seat to do a little audit while we wait for him to finish up.
Make a stealth check for me.
Okay. Yeah, that went about as planned.
Without losing a beat, Professor Bloodtusk, his eyes lock up on you, but you realize he is still talking as if he already knows he knows this material. He does not he is more keeping it there for the sake of appearances almost, and he just locks eyes on you a second, and then over to you, Shyla. Slight eyebrow raising, because, I mean, a dwarf and a young lady. And then his eyes go back down to the book, and he continues reading. So, over the next 30 minutes, you sit in the tail end of a lecture on arcanic principles. Uzra, you are actually finding some of his theories intriguing. And, a very interesting, from his perspective, it would be Western approach, where you think of your approach to magic as the Eastern approach, but he's from even further east, and it is a different style. Shyla, you're bored as fuck.
Yeah.
And we will leave you in that boring moment to head on back to Operation Shady Nook to see where they would like to go next. All right, you three have been nursing. Yes, three. You've been nursing your drinks for a little bit, using your spare socks or your current sock as a sieve, and it's made it almost palatable at this point. What would you guys like to do?
Well, if we're gonna go talk to these people at the Trade and Customs office about what's the name of the Lithium Limited company,
Yes.
there's a good chance that those people have been paid off, bribed, or threatened by the Brotherhood. So I question how much information we could get out of them without having something on them or some in with them, right? So maybe we should go to the Jaegers and see if they've got an in with the commission, the Trade Customs office. What's your thought on that?
Either of those two would do. I don't think we should go to that warehouse alone.
Well, you don't even know where the warehouse is yet.
We don't even know where it is yet. That's what we're trying to figure. Yeah.
Oh, I kind of.
So
if
if you look at the big blue block here, Adventure, that's all warehouses.
Okay, I don't know why I assumed we figured it out.
Oh, no worries, man. No worries.
Right. So I don't know how forthcoming they're going to be at the office. I mean, we can just go in there and ask questions, but that might tip off the Brotherhood, you know? Especially if they're being threatened or being paid in that way. So I was thinking maybe we should go to the Jaeger chapter house and see if they know anybody in the customs office they can trust.
Yeah, it's a good place to start.
Okay. Pourquoi, you got any...
We could go down there and just threaten them.
Could threaten them. Could end up, you know, on the wrong side of the law again. Just kind of fix. Generally, I don't go in there guns blazing. If you want to go in there later tonight and sneak around, I'm okay with that. All right, so Jaeger House?
Intimidation if it's needed, but no violence.
Okay.
All right, so you guys,
Supposed to be saying that.
it does. You're wondering if it's the sub-quality ale or the decision that is leaving that bad taste in your mouth, Adventure. But that is for you to contemplate as you guys make your way over to the Jaeger chapter house. As you guys are going, Adventure, make a perception. Actually, all of you make a perception check for me. All right. Adventure and Pourquoi, you notice this. Blackfeather, you're just trying to focus on the directions you have, kind of working backwards from the inn to the Jaeger house, but trying to like figure out the directions. Okay, well, if I was at the inn and this is how they said to get to the chapter house, but I'm coming from, you know, the shady nook, how do I get over there without having to walk all the way back to the inn first? You know? Adventure and Pourquoi, you see, as you're going, a squad of guards, about 4, are walking along, and one of them stops as they see you, Adventure, and stop and look, turn to his one friend, say something, and then he looks like he's going to come over and talk to you. And then the captain grabs him by the shoulder and just shakes his head. And you can see they have a little exchange. The guard points back at you again, and the captain shakes his head again, and they move along. So as you guys go, you notice this once more, maybe something similar, like a guard notices you and it's like, hey, wait a minute, and then someone in the group goes, no, don't worry about it. Anything you guys want to look for as you go?
Well, we're always keeping an eye out for a whorehouse.
Indeed.
You do not see a whorehouse on the way.
The quest continues.
Does anyone need to shop? Some shopping?
I could pick up some like raisins or like a bag of rice, maybe.
Is there a co-op
if you-
on the way?
Do you want to ask?
I'm asking. Need some kombucha.
All right. You ask, and on the way, you are directed to a general goods and apothecary off the main market. It just disappeared. What the hell? Hold on.
Oh, no, that's a
Oh,
It's a magic apothecary.
ah, son of a bit. Stupid roll 20. Hold on.
I'll wait for Alcran to get back so he can explain how I'm going to get pictures out of this bug that he's got put down onto a piece of parchment. It's going to be difficult.
Actually, that's a really good question that we never actually worked out.
Yeah, Basil just goes line by line.
Yeah,
Dot
actually, yeah,
matrix style.
Yep, with you have to provide him a wide variety of inks, and he will dot. Yeah, pretty much one dot at a time.
Can he 3D print?
I will look into that, but I will not say no. You hear about a general herbalist and goods called I just copied and pasted it. Armine's Grace. It's off the main market square.
Do you need to make a stop, Porquois?
No.
No. So we made him look that up for nothing. Okay, let's go on to the Jaeger house then.
Just to get this out of the way, if you guys want. And it disappeared again, motherfucker. There's an armor and a weapon shop. Okay, there are armors. There's a well-known armor and a well-known weapon blacksmith in the town as well. If you guys were looking to do anything.
What about a print shop?
Kinko's.
No, there's no fantasy Kinkos.
Well, then we should start one. We'll be fucking rich.
Yes, you will be.
Well, who's doing flyers and stuff for around town? That's what I'm looking for. I don't know what you'd call
that would
A printing
that
press?
that would be like a printing press, but that would actually it would be a printing press or a for like color. Yeah, all right, fine, a print shop.
Print shop.
There's no fine. There's no. Oh man, Blackfeather, you get hit by a carriage. It's horrible.
Have you seen this Sky Bison?
Yes. They would. I want to say you assume they would not know what to do with Basil. They would probably be very disturbed by.
If
Basil.
there is one and they got a copy, I could get them to make copies of something. So that's
good.
problem.
Yes. All right, fine. Hold.
For other things.
Oh, hold on. Let me turn to my Blackfeather notes page, and I will write down. I will write down. Hold on. Print shop for Boss Pictures. And that's not boss fight. That is boss as in awesome, cool pictures.
Well, once Braggy writes my song, then we get a band. Then we have posters for the band singing the song.
Band posters. All right, so you guys head to the where the Jaeger chapter house is located. It was a medium-sized building. It looks like while here, this may have been a place that they actually.
For the record, I did say I was down to shop.
Do you wish to divert to shop?
I was kind of curious, less so about the weapons, more about armor, racers, namely. Sorry, I thought that was noted.
What were you looking for, Adventure?
I was looking to see if perhaps the bracers I have could be upgraded.
No, that would not be an armor. That would be a mage of some sort. And the way spells work is you can't really upgrade spells. You would have to pay to remove the enchantment and then pay to have a higher enchantment.
Is this something that a blacksmith could provide, or no?
No, you would need you'd need a wizard, Harry.
Some kind of arcanist, probably.
Then I suppose weapons is at least worth kind of checking out. Maybe you could give me. Is there anything worth it at this shop?
For the sake of story and brevity, unless you guys want to do a shopping trip, I will say, as I've said before, they can have any standard item made for you, like already available, but anything better than like your +1 axe, your +1 collapsible fucking axe, you would have to have custom made, which would take time. Like you could pay.
How much does that typically? Like how much time / how much money does that usually? I know that's not. I'm not looking for a concrete number here, but
look, for something better than what you have, you'd be looking probably a couple thousand gold, and probably a week or more, depending on what you wanted.
How much is platinum worth again? 50 gold, was it?
Yeah. No, 10 gold.
Oh, yeah. My
10
bad.
gold,
Okay.
1
Yeah,
platinum.
move on. We're good.
All right. So you guys arrive at the your chapter house. It is quite beat up. It looks like that about 2/3 of the building is uninhabitable due to fire. As you approach, you see what it looks like is the front door and area is gone, but you see a sign that has an arrow pointing around the side of the building to, say, the kitchen courtyard. And as you go back, you see that they have kind of erected a canvas awning out into the courtyard in the kitchen, and it looks like a desk has been set up there, and they're actually trying to partially run some of the chapter house from outside and from the kitchen and from the 1 or 2 rooms that may still be habitable on the 2nd floor. And as you walk up, you don't see anybody currently at the desk, but you see a somewhat stouter looking middle-aged woman and a elderly gentleman with her. They seem to be pulling things out of the house through the kitchen, kind of cleaning up the aftermath a bit, seeing what's salvageable.
Do you say elderly man?
Yes.
I'd like to speak with him.
Okay. You walk up, and the woman stops and stands up. You can see she's got some soot on her face. She is human. The gentleman is actually elven.
I'm less interested.
And she goes, "Oh, hello all. How may I help you? As you can see, we're unfortunately the Jaegers are having a little bit of a rough patch, but we are still here to assist anyone who needs help."
I flash my badge and point to Blackfeather and say he does most of the talking.
"Oh, welcome, brothers. How? I don't have much to offer right now, but how may I help?"
How can we help? This place looks like a bombed out wreck. How are you holding up here?
As well as could be expected. Jasper and I and the Lord Captain are really the only people left. Unfortunately, 6 of our brothers who were staying here fell, and we did lose 2 or 3 other staff members in the house that day.
It looks like you're definitely short-handed, yeah.
Yeah, never forget.
2012.
Get the black from all the places.
As always, we soldier on. Stiff upper lip and all that. Are you coming back from assignment? Unfortunately, we aren't able to provide transport to the mother house still. It may be some time till we're able to do that.
No, we're on mission actually. Mission right here in town.
We did receive word that the mother house was sending a local group that was not in transit or caught in this. Hold on, and she walks over, and you see her roots from paper. Adventure group?
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. You would be Sir Blackfeather. It's a pleasure to meet you. And she reaches out her hand, and she notices that, yes, and you would be one Rygar Adventure, correct?
Something like that.
All right, and I take it our silent masked friend here is
Shiwa.
I have here Shyla is a woman.
Porquois is a woman.
Oh wait. pourquoi. Yes, I see here. Dry, sarcastic wit. Indeed.
No, that's Shyla.
That's inaccurate.
I'd like to touch my ring.
And she's chortling. You were hoping for a bit of reaction, but you get nothing from her. She just
their
unamused...
shit just got bombed. They've seen everything.
And you gotta think, you would think a society of freelance do-gooders would, even their household staff would probably be, she used to be an adventurer till she took an arrow to the knee sort of folk. So she's just nonplussed and looks back to Blackfeather and goes, "I'm surprised you're able to get much done from your reputation does not speak of your demeanor. I'm
That's
more
what we like everyone to think.
I would say I'm almost more impressed now of your achievements. Would you like me to call the Lord Captain down?
No need. What we need is in with the Trade and Customs office. We are looking up information on the Brotherhood working in this area.
A den of vipers, that place is. You may not get... You would think you would get any help needed from there, but unfortunately, no official request has been made yet. Much of our authority comes from the local town area or magistrate requesting our aid, and without their contract, much of our we have not much footing.
Well, we're looking for a company called Lyceum Limited, rented out some sort of warehouse in the district, but we don't know where it is.
Unfortunately, Jasper and I more concern ourselves with the day-to-day runnings of the house. The Lord Captain and his staff would definitely been able to give you this information. Unfortunately, the Lord Captain is recovering from his injuries, and we buried the rest of the staff this morning.
Lord Captain's alive.
Yes, he's not in great shape, though. He lost his leg and sight in both of his eyes. We will, once a connection is made back with the Mother House, we will need a new Lord Captain here in Lanier. I guess that makes me the mistress of the house now till he is replaced.
I pat her on the back. There.
I served a term for a long time. I never thought I'd spend my later years running a house. I never thought it'd come to this. I just wanted a quiet retirement. Let me think on this a bit. I do have some food and drink if you'd like. Well, let me talk to Jasper in the other room. He used to be one of our information gatherers before he retired. He may still have some idea of a suggestion or anyone you may be able to talk to in the Trade and Customs office. So she offers you guys seats at the table and starts... Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Oh, she just starts bustling around, trying to get you guys something together to eat. You can tell she's kind of falling back on old habits right now, just trying to keep it together. And she sends... go ahead.
Guys, this place is a wreck, and they don't have enough help. Maybe we could find somebody to come in here and help them out a little bit while we're waiting for them to get information. I'm thinking, like, there's got to be a local contract around here I can pay off to help rebuild the chapter house, and maybe we can get, some sympathy from the local populace on this. Or you just want to sit here and drink? I'm good with that too.
Do we trust the local populace?
I mean, we're just talking about cleaning up a little. I don't think any of them can make portal.
You don't think?
You never know.
Alright.
What about plaques?
As you guys- As you guys are talking, you see pretty much the elven equivalent of Alfred walks out, but his sleeves are rolled up, and he's still, though dirty, you can tell he is very a man who likes things in order and in its place. He's still a gentleman's gentleman in a way, even
Mockle kind of.
covered in soot, sleeves rolled up. You can see he actually has a jacket over his one arm as he sits down and goes, "Yes, well, the house mistress said I could try to answer a few questions for you and provide you some meager information that I may be able to assist you with."
Yes. Say what I think already. And
All right.
I was looking.
Oh no! Don't worry about assistance. We have plans in place for rebuilding, and soon some help will arrive. We just wish to make sure anything sensitive was out, either already destroyed or secured before anyone we don't know enters the house. But thank you for your concern. It is a credit to the Jaegers. That is one of your first thoughts. How may I help you, brothers?
Looking for an inn, I believe he said, as the invisible voice chimes out.
He chuckles and make a dexterity saving throw.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, you're gonna hate me for this roll, but yeah. With that, his hand shoots out and the ring has been removed from your finger. And he goes, "Young man, I may be retired, but etiquette does dictate that one does look a compatriot in the eyes when they are speaking." And he puts the ring back in your hand. "Now, you are looking for an inn with the trade and customs office."
It's the one, Black Feather. Tell the man.
Like I mentioned before, we're trying to find out where company Elysium Limited has set up in the warehouse district. The Brotherhood's involved. I believe they're a front for the Brotherhood.
Interesting. I had heard of some new companies coming in. I do know the magistrate had some dealings with them and some other groups. Hold on. And he does look at you very closely, Blackfeather. He goes, did you happen to know the magistrate?"
He was family.
"Oh." And he tilts his head just a little bit to the side and goes, "Ah, interesting. Well, it's interesting to see someone of your station here, especially in the employ of the Jaegers."
I'm glad I'm really interesting.
Aren't I interesting?
Did we get back to the subject that we're talking about here?
Oh, I...
Someone will get this guy some
Influential
coffee.
Influential families are ones to look out for each other, son. How do I know I can trust you?
Into the Jaegers by Leo. If you can't trust Leo, who are you going to trust?
Well, I never thought we'd suffer an attack like this. Information was slipped to allow this to happen.
So you think that we're in on it, even though we're investigating it?
I'm just letting you know I don't quite trust you yet, but we'll see what you do.
All right. I'll pass it on to Leo next time I see him. I'll let you know how exceedingly helpful you're being right now with the entire organization in shambles.
Can see me getting a little uneasy in the situation.
Many of our contacts in the trade office have been bought off of recently. You have two options available. As no active contract allows you to enter and request this information, I could give you the name of someone you could attempt to bribe yourself, or you may use your considerable talents if you wish to gain entry yourself, which I can also advise you on if you wish.
I want all that information.
Alright. The person to talk to would be one Jacob Lightfoot. He was in our employ for some time, though he has not made contact in a few weeks. If you wish to give me a moment, I will go and get you what information is left for the Trading Customs Office. And he slowly rises up and heads back into the shambles of the house.
Well, I
You
don't
have
like
a
that
few
guy.
moments.
Gonna be honest with you, I almost made that situation ugly.
Yeah, he's not exactly a pleasing fellow, is he?
Rightfully so, though.
I'm interested in subscribing to his pamphlet, I think.
Like a
what's
shove. I think
Go
we're
ahead
just
and
gonna
roll.
make a habit of shoving Pourquoi.
You can't shove me.
Go ahead and make a flat attack roll if you would like. You can make a
Roll
dexterity.
1d20.
Yep, d20. Pourquoi you can roll a acrobatics check.
Shit.
Yep. You
Whiff.
you shove. He just goes with it and doesn't just shifts his weight a bit. Does not move.
I'll get you next time.
No, you won't.
Bitch.
The mistress of the house comes out at this point. She puts a tankard of ale in front of each of you and says, unfortunately, it's most of what we got. I'll have some bread and, well, before the cheese turns, some cheeses out here for you, since the cold box is pretty much done and we need to eat what's here. Was Jasper of any assistance to you?
No.
Well, he might be. We'll see if he comes back with something.
Please understand, Jasper was at one time one of this city's better spy masters for us, and most of our information gatherers were trained by him. He lost closest thing he had to children the other day.
Never forget.
And she comes back with cheese and some fruits. Jasper comes back out as well. He has a few sheets of paper. Sorry. I recreated the map as best I could. Most of it was lost. You see here, and he describes to you the trade house, how there is a main entrance, but there is a side entrance off one alley that is usually barred, and there is also a window that they usually paid someone to leave unlocked on the 3rd floor, which is an old storage area. And he gives you the rough layout of the building and where you would find basically the registration office to where companies register not only their office, but any warehouses that they are currently leasing from the city. Since a large part of tax revenue comes from the fact that all warehouses are actually owned and controlled by the city government and then leased to companies.
Excellent.
Now, I use this information as you will, and if you find who is responsible, I hope to see justice served. Please affirm my suspicions as incorrect. That is all I can ask of you.
All right. Thank you, Jasper. I think it's time for us to go, guys.
I activate the ring of invisibility and glare at him as I think he can see me somehow.
He's looking you dead in the eye, Adventure.
Somehow.
Just unblinking.
All right. Guys, let's head back to the inn.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna head back to Operation Bookworm at this point. With that, you guys arrive, and the lecture's over, and students are leaving. Bloodtusk is down at his lectern, gathering his papers. What do you guys do?
Hop on down there to talk to them.
Yeah, I'll put a end to my notes. A little summation, and then join.
All right. As you two come down, he looks up and goes. He says, "Usually, you must request permission to audit a lecture. How may I help you?"
I'll pull out the Jaeger badge again and give him my apologies for the unannounced visit.
He looks down and goes, I've seen one of those back home. It was on a dead man, though.
Yeah,
Interesting.
comes with the
How
occupation.
may I help you? So I hear you all have quite a bit of sway in the West here. So what does... yes, young lady.
Well, we need a little bit of history, I guess. So there's a city under this city, and we need to know about it, and maybe how to get into it.
Well, normally I'd refer you to Lady Silverwind, but what is your interest? I mean, you, and he points at you, Uzer, seem to be following what I was saying, and I'd be interested to hear one of the hill. Are you hill or mountain folk?
Mountain, come down from Serbial.
Are you of what do you call The there are the casters and builders. Which are you?
I was trained an artificer.
Ah, a builder. You seemed... Most of them are pretentious asses.
Yup.
I would love to actually talk to one of you. I've invited a few here, but they've never come. Yes, follow. Come. Yes, I'd be happy to answer your questions, young lady. And he takes you to, you see a small side door to the lecture hall. And when he opens it, you see it as a small hallway that leads to an office. What you're both surprised by is that he actually fits through said door. Like, as you watch, he kind of sideways, like half sideways, bends down a little bit to step through the door and into this office.
What?
And as you guys come in... Mm-hmm.
What are we looking at here? Like, is he bigger than me?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean,
Orcs are really big.
I know I'm not there,
Yeah.
but shit.
Yeah, half orcs are pretty big, and usually you've seen orcs before. They can range anywhere. They're right underneath large half the time. Like, they're like 9 or 10 feet tall.
No,
And, like,
so I'd have to enough just
jacked.
to
Yeah.
get up there.
Oh no,
He's only
if
half
you
orc, so.
if you and Nuck chucked, you'd be almost 20 or 30 feet tall, because that's how big a large creature can get.
All right, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, like large creatures are thing.
All right, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, no problem. No, I'm happy to answer. Like large creatures are T-Rex size at their biggest, I think.
Shit.
Yeah.
It scales.
What?
after-
That's what I get. I get up to large, or I get up to medium with the Nuck
You go one. You go one size up. You are a medium-sized creature currently.
Okay.
I think
all right,
every
I'm
race
sorry.
on the gnomes are.
Continue.
Yes. And orcs can be medium. Yeah, they're on the tall end of medium. Anyway, and as you watch, he squeezes himself behind this desk like he is still massive. He looks like an adult at a kid-sized desk. And he offers you, points to the chairs and says, "Oh, please move anything you need to. Just sit." Now, yes, what many historians may not tell you is, not only did the mountain folk, your folk, child, the forest folk, and the low elves, not only did they fight, and the low kind used Lanier as a port and a fortress, but throughout history my kin made many a raid against this town as well. Unfortunately, it is something I've had to deal with, the still ingrained prejudice, even though I am only half of those disgusting beasts.
Not alone.
What was that?
No, I'm just nodding. Like, I understand as a dwarf.
Yeah, I don't know how much young lady has. Most of my kind is not welcome here unless we can provide his service. Or we are allowed in Docktown, as that is not truly part of the city.
Oh.
It is, usually not a pleasant way that, a being like myself comes about. Usually liberties are taken at them against the mother's wishes.
Oh.
Yes, so many of the older races do harbor a great amount of resentment to our kind. But that is neither here nor there. You were asking specifically are you wondering? History, I do know some. Most of my research brought me here to understand some of the arcanic sciences being developed here during the war. And there are references to ways and languages only found east of here. That's why I was allowed entry. Though I may not leave the city, I was allowed to stay here for a time.
In regards to the languages, have you found yourself studying Celestial?
Of course, there's many references to Celestial, as well as Draconic, and a few other dialects down there as well. Unfortunately, I must include the master linguist at times, or the head of the archaeology department. Bunch of just because it's their find, they feel that they don't have to share any information. Is there... I would be happy to try to make overtures to them for you, but it may be better if you did not mention my name, especially to the lady archaeologist herself.
I see. What about the... What was it? The city beneath Lanier? You wanted to know about, child?
Oh, what? I'm sorry. Yes, sorry. I think I wrote this down somewhere. See, we're kind of in a time press. We really are thinking that what we need to know is under this city. In ruins?
There are a lot of them. What particular information are you looking for? What is this time and he looks at you. Is it Kutudla? Why? How does one time crush? You can tell he's hitting a little bit of a language barrier here. Like, are you squeezing time? Like,
we're short on time.
Oh, then yes.
Does he not speak common that well?
It is not his native tongue.
Okay.
Well, we don't know how to get there from here. And, well, I don't know what it's gonna, well, I'm assuming it's dangerous. Maybe that would be nice to know about, too.
There are some dangers, of course, down there. Some traps laid during, the wartime. There are rumored to be hundreds of entrances throughout the city, to the lower city. Early on, many of the sewer systems have been repurposed from, some ruins of the old city. If I knew what you're looking for, I may be able to point you into a part of the city that maybe have what you're looking for. I mean, most of my studies have been confined more to the south and trying to see if any of the waterlogged ruins could be excavated, as I believe most of the labs were there.
What about the warehouse district? Any notable sites?
Each warehouse before they were built was supposed to be zoned and confirmed as just a warehouse, and the archaeological side did get pushed through an agreement that any entrances found into the Undercity should be logged, but as with any great bureaucracy, a bit of money could have hidden any number of entrances. I don't want to say there are not entrances, but there very well could be. But as the warehouse district is mostly of great financial concern to the city and many of the corporations that affect city policy, it would be very hard to know if they were there unless one was already in the know.
Oh.
Or-
Oh, go ahead.
no, you can go ahead.
There's supposed to be a myth of a ward of some kind for this area that druids built, and that's what we're trying to find in the ruins. Am I getting this right?
Oh, the barrier's promise, I think.
Well,
There should be a.
the barrier's promise. I do know of this. It is the concept is a forbearance or the reverse of a compulsion, and what? Oh, and he turns and he reaches a large hand very high up and grabs a very large book down, all right on the desk, opens it up, turns it towards you. He's like, much research was done during the end of the war as available soldiers grew thin and ranks were thinning, of how to turn the very beasts of this world against one of the others. It is one of the reasons I am here. Some of this magic was used long ago in the orcs when they were first conceived, and is what drives them to their brutal rages. I have always thought if I could find the source of such a charm, that maybe I can reverse it, similar to the way, not to push and make them leave, but to change their rage, turn it around, and maybe they would stop raiding and pillaging and murdering and be once again a society they once were during the time of the Aesir themselves. And you see old, like, recreations of mural pictures, and what you see is a large red stone seeming to glow, and he said the only reference we have to this was called the Bane is one translation, or it's the only reference I have is the Orcish name, which is Ruktakar. It is something that can sound like it will corrupt the blessing, and not only draw these beasts back, but turn them against any they see, make them how does one say a beast who rages and attacks all, even though before they were docile.
That sounds like a pretty good way of putting it.
Yeah, that's pretty succinct.
I know there's a word.
Frenzied or possibly? Feral?
And he snaps, and it doesn't sound like a snap, it sounds like a branch breaking. You know, like, crack! Yes! Feral! If that is what you seek, be warned, this would be very dangerous, and the path to it would not be an easy one either.
How big is stone?
Some of the stories say that it needed at least a team of 4 to be drawn on cart. It was found that the stone naturally incited more base reaction and things, but the scientists, the arcanists, were said to have laid layer and layer of enchantment on it to focus and change it. Were anyone using this to change the magic of the blessing of the druids that I've heard of, it would be very bad.
Okay, that sounds like what we're looking for.
Out of curiosity, the inroads that have been found to the Undercity, are they in any way connected, or is it pretty much not like a traversable area?
So, if you mean to the areas which I wish the archaeologists would help me look into, no path that has been found so far leads there.
Okay.
Some of them outside of town lead into each other, but there is a great deal of cave-in and treacherous area.
Sure.
I still look for a path myself past the areas that have been found. I have only found the barest hint to, and he points to the book, to these items here. It would have been very well secured and hidden, as it was a last-ditch effort to win the conflict before the Rundhare, the sky elves, descended.
Okay.
If you're not able to stay, Rock Brother, I do wish if you could ever come back, I'd love to discuss the theories of transformative arcanic relays through a crystal stone ladder. And he starts, Charlotte, he just starts going off on stuff. And Uzo, you're like, oh yeah, you're getting a bit of a bit of a nerd chub as he's starts talking to you a little bit about stuff.
I will say, absolutely. Provided that you don't mind, my reputation with the Artifice College proper isn't the best anymore.
What do you mean?
It was sort of corrupt from the top, we found, and the person who was in charge exiled me, excommunicated me.
Person sounds like, how do you say, one who fornicates with sheep?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Well,
He
all the
couldn't
better.
think of the word. He couldn't think of the word feral, but he could say fornicate.
He's a learned man.
Yeah. It's not his native tongue, sir.
You're a native tongue.
But absolutely, I would be happy to return.
And he scribbles down on a piece of paper. He goes, here. How, if you wish to write, if you do not stay in town, this is the university can get it to me. Here. Please excuse, my grasp of common is not the best, but, science is the and magic is the great bridge I would like to share any of your insights. You, young lady, it is a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. And he reaches out a giant mitt towards you.
Great. I'll shake a finger or two.
It's not that big, I would say. It's more like a 1 or 2 year old's hand inside of an adult's hand, sort of deal. Like he gently and just kind of shakes your whole forearm a little bit.
Okay.
It was a pleasure. All right.
Likewise, if we find anything that we think will be pertinent to your research, I'll be sure to keep you in the loop.
Would ask him if he's a
thank
fighting
you.
guy.
A fighter? Was that?
Yeah, he's fucking massive. He'd be a great party member, even if temporarily.
I sort of get the feeling that that's not in his interests.
Look at him.
Hey, you racist. All orcs are the same. Is that what you're saying? Dwarves are supposed to be the racist ones.
Wow.
Can I, before we leave, we're in like his office with like his books and stuff you mentioned.
Yeah.
Can I make like a perception check to see if he has any of the library books?
Sure, go ahead. A few. Yeah. Yeah, couple. Not
Okay.
not a huge number. You notice actually very few of the books with that have titles in common.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them are in a language you do not know. So you believe he may have carted a large amount of the books and information in here with him when he came here.
Okay. But I see a couple of the emblems.
Yeah,
Around.
like, yeah.
I'll let him. I'll give him a quick. Oh, and by the by, the library asked me to let you guys know to please return the books when you can.
he like, there's a deep rumble. He's like, he's welcome to come back and take them.
Very good. All right.
All right. So, Operation Bookworm. Do you wish to go to any of the other locations?
Well, I think he was pretty much pointing us towards Silverwind, right?
He said Silverwind for archaeology, and she could probably handle any linguistic needs you had as well, unless it was something really fucking exotic.
I don't know, Shyla. I feel like we haven't learned anything that's gonna, be important in like a short-term kind of sense. Like the Bane is might be useful to know, but I was really hoping to find some kind of like site nearby that might lead us.
Yeah, well, it's nice to know what we're looking for. That helps.
Yeah,
Something big enough to hold a giant stone, but
that is true.
still a whole city. So,
Yeah.
So,
He did also mention the areas he wants access to are in the south of the city. He believes more towards the lake shore and the ocean, the shore, and possibly maybe even underwater. And he's asked the archaeology department many times to try to help him find routes in there or ways in, but they have not been very receptive, because they have their like 5 or 6 sites, and most of the department is resting on the laurels of writing papers about the sites they've already found,
I was getting the vibe that he was mainly talking about Docktown, but would that also include like the coast of the warehouse district, since it's on the
yeah, I would say honestly, since he's referencing south is all he gave you, and you're in the university, it would be anywhere south of where he is.
Okay.
the entire warehouse district.
But maybe near the water. with a preference. But yeah, okay.
We should go see Silverwind. For
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's head that way.
All right. You guys start heading that way, and I will jump back quick and ask Black Feather and crew, do you wish to try to do... I would say I would give you about one more action beat each for the now 12 to 2 time period. So you guys have definitely burned through the 10 to 12 hours, and with the additional places you've gone, I would say you're at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right. I'd like to call Earlith, what's her name? Earlith.
Hold on, let me...
Contacts. Long contacts. Irian. I want to call Irian about the Shadowed Hand.
Alrighty.
Ask her opinion about working with them.
All right. So do you head back to the inn to do this? Do you do this in the middle of the street? Do you hang out at the Jaeger house?
No, I'd like to head back to my inn to make that call in my room.
All right.
You guys can do whatever you guys want. That's what I'm headed out to do.
Me and Perquar are gonna look for a whorehouse.
Oh, that went out.
Alright.
Actually.
It seems
would
I'm
say-
looking for a whorehouse alone.
Okay. You guys. So you guys get back to the inn. Blackfeather lets you know he's gonna do some stuff on his own. You ask the innkeeper adventure.
Sure.
Make a charisma check or persuasion. Do persuasion.
I think we lost it.
Hello.
No. Oh shit. No, I'm back.
Oh, you're
My
back.
internet cut
Okay.
in and out.
That was weird.
It sounded like
Ma-
you changed your
make-
mind. Charisma.
Persuasion. Do persuasion.
God fucking damn it. Dude, oh my god. I am so mad. I am so mad. I have told everybody that I know in real life about this shit, but I can never succeed in a role that I'm not inclined to succeed with. And I'm pissed off about it. Continue, Zach. Fuck me over. Let's go.
No, he just lets you know that he's not doesn't really feel inclined to tell you. It's not exactly a place he frequents. You know, he's a family man. Blah blah blah. Roll an insight check. Want to see what happens?
Hey,
All right.
yeah,
That's not too bad.
a little bit better.
You do get from that. You get the feeling he may actually know where it is, but he doesn't want to tell you.
That's fine.
A little money?
fine. That's fine. Hang on a second.
So, as he's explaining to you why he can't possibly tell you, you reach across the bar, grab him by the front, and pick him up and put him right in your face and go, and what do you say to him?
Just tell me where it is.
That calmly, with that good of a roll? No, I want to say there's a little bit of thought. Just fucking tell me.
Okay. In that case, I am grabbing his collar to the point where it's not choking him, but it is certainly uncomfortable.
Okay.
Around his neck, and I very sternly, because I don't truthfully want to make the voice, tell me where the whorehouse is, loudly enough so that the people in the inn can hear.
And with that, he tells you. If you look at the map...
Can I how can I be certain he's telling the truth?
No,
Insight, I suppose. But
insight. You can go ahead and roll it, but I'm going to tell you with a 21 on intimidation. He's telling you the truth, buddy.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir. I slap a copper down for him. Be on my way. Click my heels on the way out.
So, when you go, if you look at the map, of course it deleted it. You realize from the directions he gave you, it was only 2 streets over from where the old man sent you. You just scared the fucking shit out of him, and
Yeah, I
he couldn't
scared the
quite
shit out of the
remember
old
where it
man,
was. Well, no, the old man, and well, of course the barkeep. But I'm saying
Yeah,
you
you're good
scared the
at that.
crap out of the old man. He's like, courtesans, swanky, shit, I don't know, this man's gonna kill me, swanky place, there. So,
Swanky place.
yep. So, the innkeeper gives you directions to the Shy Lotus. And you head there.
Alright.
Now, are you going to attempt any information gathering while you're
Oh, yeah.
here, or is this purely...
I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm looking to do the exact same thing I was trying to do last session.
just try to find
All right.
information.
All right. As you gleefully barbarians skip your way down the street. No. Pourquoi? What are you doing in this period of time? Pourquoi?
Remaining silent.
Sleep.
Apparently. Okay. All right. Blackfeather, you head on up to your room. Whip out your magical cell phone. And go ahead and I guess you call. Of course, I forget her name now too, even though we both just looked it up a second ago.
Irian.
Irian. All right.
Hey, you think I could get her number?
You don't know about this. You don't know about this magic bullshit. Alright, so you type it in, adjust the stones, it begins to glow softly, and then Irian's face slowly fades in to be visible, crisp, and clear on the mirror. As your image clarifies for her, she goes, "Oh, hello, darling. What may I help you with?"
I'm doing just fine, thank you very much. I'm down here in Lanier, and I had a couple of questions.
Just last time I heard, you were with those diggers out east. It seems you're stepping up.
I am. I've got the pictures to prove it too. I just haven't gotten them printed yet.
Oh, I can't wait.
I know. I'll send some to you as soon as I get them done. But we're having a lot of fun down here. Did you hear about the little radio broadcast this morning?
I did. However, did you manage that if you're all the way in Lanier?
Secrets. It's all about secrets, you know? But I won't give it away just yet.
Oh, I look forward to finding out.
So I do have a question. Have you ever heard of an outfit called Shadow Hand came down here?
With that, the smile drops from her face, and she goes, "What do you want to know?"
Well, I was thinking about going to them to get some information, but I'm unsure if it's a wise idea.
The Shadow's Hand, they're dangerous, dear. Very dangerous.
Like initiation rite dangerous, or?
Let me put it this way. If you ever told me the Shadow Hand wanted to speak with me, I'd be packed up and gone before you knew what happened. They are the most prolific Assassin's Guild I have ever heard of. They are old, they are powerful, and I have never heard of them failing. If you were going to them for information, it means you're going up against someone that even I might fear to go up against.
Well,
I won't say don't. I won't say don't, but be careful.
So I should not take a bumbling barbarian with me while I talk to very important people.
Yes, you should. Yes, you should.
I would not take anyone, dear, that you would not absolutely trust with your life. And even then,
He trusts about me.
I wouldn't take anyone that you also would not mind possibly losing. If you can have an in with them, that is for you. That is not for anyone else.
Okay, that's good to know. Well,
Be careful,
on a lighter
dear.
note,
I
it's been
haven't.
on a lighter note, it's been lovely talking to you.
Oh, as always, dear, it is a pleasure. But be careful, dearie. I have been investing a bit in you, and I do wish to see some more return and possible more work for both of us.
Well, as soon as I've stopped running around with a chicken with my head cut off, I'll definitely be looking into that.
I can't wait, and I would love to hear these tales.
Okay, Arian, take care.
All right, dear. Be safe, and if anything happens, I've never heard of you.
Encouraging. Thank you.
Well, business is business, dear.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and she hangs up. While that is going on, adventure, you reach the Shy Lotus.
Indeed.
All right. There's a. You can now, seeing the outside. I don't want to say it decreases your rage. That is all up to you. But you could possibly see why the old man may have mixed them up. It is a very similar looking building architecture and a very large, intimidating fellow in front of the door.
Larger than me?
Nah, he's about maybe a little bit shorter than you, but definitely very thick. I mean, he definitely looks like a man who has seen a number of brawls in his day.
I approach him then? Is he standing in the way of the door?
Nope, just sitting next to it. Just keeping an eye on the street.
I will then approach the door in an effort to pass through.
Alright, he doesn't stop you. And
In
as
I
you
go.
come in, you see... Yep. As you come in, you see... now, this is what really throws you for a loop. The architectural style and decor is nearly identical to the Silver Palace. It's just darker. And there's more shades of pink instead of the blue and silver that were there before over at the Silver Palace. So you're now really saying, wait a minute, that old fucker might have actually been in both of these places and actually could have confused them.
Is there a front desk?
There is a small little foyer area. You notice another bouncer on the other side of it. You can see there are coats and cloaks and such, and like a coat room. And then beyond that is a bar and an area with secluded tables and booths for meals. And then there is a small trio playing a harp, a violin, and a small flute very softly. They're actually blonde elven triplets, and it is beautifully haunting music. And you see a bar along the right hand side of the wall, and as you're stepping in, another bouncer you did not see to the left steps into view and goes, "Good afternoon, sir."
Hello there.
What brings you to the Shy Lotus?
Certainly not tea.
And he stops a minute and make a charisma check.
Charisma?
Yep. Not save, check. Let's.
Great.
See
See what I'm fucking talking about, guys? He sucks.
he-
Trust me.
he doesn't get the joke, and he just stares at you blankly, like,
Yep. Yeah. I'm not here for tea, sir. Can you tell me specifically what services you offer here? Don't spare the
What the fuck do you
details.
think we do here? He looks at you like, what the
I
fuck do you
assumed
think we do
once
here?
before I won't make the same mistake again. Tell me what services you offer.
Are you... Hold on. If we're... Hold on.
Perfect.
Looking him straight in the eye, like completely passionate about the situation. Like, I need to know before I waste my platinum pieces on it.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
Christ.
You got lucky, sir. With that, he's like, "Whoa, buddy, whoa, Jesus." I don't know who that is, but I heard someone say his name. No, I guess. Look there. I just.
Oh, sorry. Good.
You come in here, dressed like you're from the hinterlands, and you're yelling about tea. You're yelling about tea. I'm a little confused, and the other bouncer has also come into the room. Like, is everything okay in here?
I see the other bouncer, and I look back to the one that I'm speaking with, and I attempt to calm myself to the point of conversational level, and I say, please just answer the question.
All right, make a charisma check with advantage.
There's no way this could go
Zark.
badly.
Of course, I roll a 10. Of course.
Nope. With that, he doesn't think you're gonna knock his head off, and he goes. He signals to the other guy. He's like, "Well, it's okay." And he goes, "For coin, we offer companionship."
What's that supposed
This in no way involves hot beverages, correct?
We have a bar and a fucking kitchen. Cold beverages, hot beverages, food, whatever the fuck you want. What the fuck do you want to know? What is with you in this fucking hot beverage? Shit.
I mean, the guys gotta know it looks like a fucking tea place, right?
It's been a long series of events, sir.
All right.
What are these girls walking around here for? Do they serve tea or do they serve sex?
He stops a second. When you say serve tea or sex, he goes, "Did you previously go to the Silver Palace?"
Yes.
Yes, I did.
It's the...
Do you understand
madam-
now?
Our madam owns both. I understand. If you would like, I will...
Can I hug this
If you'd
man?
like to head... Roll for hug. No, go ahead. You can hug him if you'd like.
Just get a quick embrace. Just
And-
not even
and
just a bro hug. It's a bro hug.
Yeah, he pats you on the back. He's like, we mentioned to the madam there might be some confusion. I'll talk to her. We normally offer a few free drinks when the misunderstanding happens.
Oh,
If you want to go,
now you're
Go
speaking
sit-
my language.
if you'd like to go sit in that private booth, I'll send a young lady which I'll send you someone over for company.
Lady.
All
Please.
right. I'll send a young lady over with a bottle, and the first one's on us.
The first two.
The bottle, boy.
Oh. The first two bottles.
Take everything you get.
First time around.
He stops. No, he just looks at you and doesn't move and waits.
Take whichever. Honestly, I don't care. Just trying to make it straight.
No, the first bottle, right? Or are we gonna have a problem?
I just glare at him as I walk away.
Walking out or walk towards the booth?
The booth.
Okay. Alright. Adventure has finally made it to the whorehouse.
That was a roller coaster.
Tell me that wasn't great. Come on.
Alright. So you are on the tail end of the lunch special here, Adventure, as it's moving into the 2 to 4 o'clock time.
I'll be here for a while.
Alright, so with that, do you wish to... I'll come back to you then. So let's go down the list.
Sure.
Blackfeather, anything else you'd like to do now that you're on your own?
At this point, I would want to take a major action. So, we've only got like one action to do, right?
The call was... Your call covered the end of the 12 to 2 time period. Yeah. So you guys are now into the 2 to 4 time period.
Wouldn't you want to go back to Shyla?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you Shyla and Uzra, you can see one more person in your 12 to 2 time, if you wish.
Okay, we're heading for Lady Silverwind.
Yep.
All right. As you guys walk through the campus, you see that there's a few more people out now. A number of lectures have led out. It's also getting towards the end of middle of the afternoon. So there are some students that either don't have class right now or have a bit of time between class. So there's a few more people. As you come back around, you realize the archaeology department was not that far from the library. It is a lower, squat building, just one floor, but it's pretty spread out. And as you come in, you are faced with a just long hallway leading off down the building in front of you. Then a couple spaces a little bit of distance to the right and left, and another 2 hallways going down the middle. So basically it's almost like a warehouse, just block shape, and it's the whole building's been divided into 3 hallways with a couple hallways that go widthways to break up all these different looks to be more temporary offices, originally just wooden walls that were thrown up, and then you realize that like ceilings weren't really put in, so it's just basically like a loft office. It's just one giant room where they built temporary rooms to break everything up. And there's a desk currently with nobody at it in front of the archaeology building.
Anybody else in sight?
You can hear voices, but you're not exactly sure where and how far away, because being that all of the rooms do not have ceilings to them, the sound carries throughout the building pretty well.
All right, well, we'll just start walking forward into the various pods and take a look in.
All right, do you go down the center hallway, the left hallway, or the right hallway?
Right down the center.
All right. You guys start walking. As you walk, you see different names on the on some of the doors, and then some of the doors just have numbers on them. It looks like everything in the center hallway, conveniently enough, starts with the common letter C and then a number.
Hello? Anybody in here?
You hear like a couple voices quiet down, and then they start talking again.
Friendly bunch.
Are the numbers counting up or down?
They're going up as you walk across the building.
What do you think? The head's at the high end of the numbers, or the low end?
We know which number. I mean, rather irrelevant if we don't know what number we're looking for.
No, but
make a perception check. All right. As you guys are walking, about a little bit longer you'd like, but eventually you walk past a door where the light coming in from the outside windows of the building is hitting this office in the right way that through like a bit of a smoky glass window in the door, you can actually see somebody in an office, finally.
let's try here. Give the door a knock.
Alright. Knock, knock. And you see, hold, yeah, 1 minute, and you hear rustling, the door opens, and you can tell, like, he's forced, young gentleman is forcing them. He says, yes, hello?
Sorry, there was no one at the front desk. We're looking for,
What? And he,
Lady
sticks his
Silverwind?
head on? Oh, Lady Silverwind, did she send you? I did not finish the cataloging yet. I let her know I would have it done by lunchtime.
No. We're looking for her.
You're looking. Okay. And you're not here about the cataloging.
No.
Good.
Catalog of what? Catalog of what?
Some pottery shards. But you said you weren't here about the cataloging.
No.
No, you're at. Okay. So.
Where...
Yes. What?
Do you know where Lady Silverwind is?
Yes. Professor Silverwind is. Wait. And he looks at the number on the outside door. I was supposed to be cataloging in C442. This is C23. I think she will be downstairs in the vault.
Can you give us general directions?
Should be if you head towards the center and then go to either side. Both the hallway L and R both have stairs leading down to the vault.
Thank you.
Alright. Now I have to go uncatalog this and recatalog everything again.
Have fun.
Don't tell her you saw me though, please.
We didn't see anything.
Excellent. And he just closes the door.
Cool. I guess we go try one of the other ways.
Great.
Alright, so you guys walk a bit further down, and then you see there is like this about a little over a quarter of the way down, there's a bisecting hallway for this fake hallway, and when you look left and right, you see the the outside hallways that you hadn't gone down, and you see, if you go a little bit past the offices against the walls, you actually see the classic like railing around stairs that are just in the floor, that go down, so you can take the far left stairwell or the far right stairwell.
Oh, far right.
Alright. You guys head downstairs. What you see now is that as you come down the stairs, it's much darker. You can also feel it's warmer in this area than it was above, and there are arcanic bulbs and lights down here, but they're very distantly spaced and they're at a very low intensity, so it's just bright enough to see where you're going. Now, the first thing you guys realize is since the wall is straight down from the first floor to this basement, it looks like the entire basement is the entire size of this large, low squat building. But from what you can tell, there are no walls down here. There are just shelves. And they seem to have been built as more shelving was needed. But it seems to be a bit of a maze. You don't see the even rows and spacing that you saw upstairs. It looks almost as if this may have started as they had this all this space when they first started. They were making groups of shelving depending on what they found, like areas of the city or maybe some way of organizing it. But as the years have gone on and more shelving was needed, it just kept getting tacked on, and now this place is a maze of interconnecting shelving that turns and goes at weird angles, and it looks like a bit of a labyrinth down here.
Anyone in sight?
Make a perception check at advantage because you have dark vision. Because you have dark vision. Yeah, you can see a number of forms moving around. With your dark vision, you can tell some of them are wearing... basically, it looks like a small stone wired into a very small arcanic bulb that's emitting a low light, and it's strapped on a headband. And they're holding clipboards and going through areas.
Alright. How far away is the closest one?
Like 15, 20 feet away.
Okay. I'll walk over to the closest one then.
Alright. You startle her. She is a human, and she's using the headlamp, so a little bit beyond the radius of the light, it's harder for her to see, and dwarf, underground, and semi-darkness, you right up to her. Hello?
Pardon me, not to startle you.
It's all right. It just you start focusing on your work and you kind of lose track. It's my fault.
I know how that is.
I should have been paying attention. How may I help you? Oh, my name is Jessica.
Nice to meet you, Jessica. My name's Uzra. I'm looking for Lady
Uzra?
Silverwind.
The professor. She was down. I saw her. Yes, she was in the post-Aesir Fall pre-descent. Would you like me just to take you there?
If you could, that'd be wonderful.
That would that would be lovely. Oh,
Shyla can't see in the dark, I imagine.
It's not pitch black down here.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's just very low light.
Okay, cool. Then I'll flag Shyla and be on our way.
Oh, hello, young lady.
Oh, hi.
My name is Jessica.
Hi, Jessica. It's dark down here.
Yes. We do that. Many items can be damaged if the light becomes too bright, and we are trying to preserve as many items as we can here.
Oh, cool.
So, I hear. Are you also here looking for the professor?
Yes, I am.
Oh, if you two would like to follow me, I'll take you to her. All right, and you two start following her, and she's chatting a little bit as she's walking. She points out a couple interesting pieces as you guys are going by. As you make it about another 20-30 feet from where you are, you notice there was actually a temperature change. It's now actually a little bit cooler than it was upstairs, and it's actually there's a slight amount more, like just barely more humidity in the air than there was before, and you notice that the actual quality, just barely the shade of the light has changed as you move into this section. Any questions, or you want me to keep going?
No.
All right. You guys continue on, left or right, a left, two lefts, around a thing. Like, you're wondering how they get around it all down here. It's a little it's a little like, what the...
It's pretty nostalgic for me, I imagine.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're just like, oh man, it's like home. As you, again, cross into another section, the light quality changes again, and now it is more a drier, slightly warmer temperature now. And she's chatting a little more, pointing out items as you go. And she's like, all right, we'll be there in just a moment. All right. And boop, boop, boop. And then you come to... You've seen a few of them around. It's where a culmination of shelves have come to like form a nook in a way. And you've seen in a lot of these nooks, tables have been set out so that you can pull an item off. And there's some of them will even have magnifying apparatus, or you've seen some cleaning material. Like, you've seen work tables all over. And at a work table, you see a middle-aged elven woman with black hair, white stripe, going white streaks in it. A very stern face. Her clothes are utilitarian and more actually on the more masculine end of the spectrum, where she's wearing a man's shirt and trousers, but she's they're cut more to fit a woman's body style than a man's body style. And she has a vest on with more pockets than you would normally see someone wear, but Uzra, this looks somewhat similar to an artificer's love of pockets and nooks and crannies to stick stuff with. And she's does not look up as you guys approach, though you see her head tilt a little as she hears your feet against the very, very fine pebbly gravel that actually makes up the basement floor.
Okay.
And she goes, she doesn't look up, but she says, Jessica, who are you bringing here to interrupt my work today? She goes, I'm sorry, Professor. They were looking for you. This is Uzra and Shyla?
Right.
And Shyla. They said they needed to see you, and, you didn't tell me that you didn't want to be disturbed, and I thought it was better to bring them here than let them to continue wandering through the ways here. I mean, I didn't want them bumping into anything or getting lost. At this, the professor, Silverone doesn't look up. She continues writing her notes on a little book, and she goes, all right, I guess, yes, that's fine. And she makes a shoeing machine. She said, go, Jessica, back to your work. Jessica smiles and kind of a little bit of curtsy to each of you and says, yes, of course, Professor, and she walks away.
Sorry to come unannounced, Professor. We're working with the Jaegers. My name's Uzra Tinderbeard, and this is Shyla, as Jessica introduced us. We were hoping for a couple minutes of your time.
Oh, that is what I look into here, is time. And are you actually sorry? Or are you just saying that to be polite?
Oh, I'm sorry. I am an academic myself, and I definitely understand.
With that, she looks up, and you see just glasses. She looks at you. Well, all right then. I guess I can spare a moment or two. And she finishes writing a note, puts the pen down, looks up and says, yes, how may I help you two?
Well, there was a couple things. The first of which would be some of the archaeological sites in the warehouse district. We were wondering if you had any more information than most about where they might lie.
You said in the warehouse district? And she says, well, we have theorized at a number of locations there, as many of our old blueprints show something like that. But any tunnels we found in that area have either been collapsed or flooded. And she roots through some papers and pulls out a map of the city. And she says, most of our sites have been located here and here. We did one time for a time find a site here, which may be in the general area you're looking for, but unfortunately, with instability of that area, it flooded soon after we had started working.
Okay. Interesting.
Now, that brute blood tusk has been badgering us endlessly the last few years to look into the warehouse district possibility, but I've told him time and again, I mean, the city allows us to investigate the sites we have found right now, but we would have to tear up and block off a large section of the warehouse district to work from. And there is no way that would ever pass. And unfortunately, Bloodtusk does not understand local politics and the restraints it puts us under. He felt we should just go in and take what we need and do what we must do.
Right.
And that may work further east. Oh, wait, what?
The magistrate's dead, so maybe you could do a little more than you could yesterday.
Well, that's just inconvenient. And you see her writing down, magistrate dead, talk to Dean about favors needed to next magistrate. Like, she does not know, but all she cares about is, damn it, we have to grease someone else's palm now. Like,
Well,
does not worry about the loss of life. She's just like, son of a bitch. All right, send fruit basket and.
Right. So we have reason to believe some shady types are using one of these inroads to the Undercity for less than academic means.
I would not be surprised there. Even with our limited access to the Undercity, I have paid the Thieves Guild a few times to allow us to use them as long as my students do not travel into areas needed for some of their dealings. Same with smugglers. And the match, okay, double payment to Thieves Guild till new magistrate is in office. I mean, though the Thieves Guild will not venture far, besides just the routes they use to get in and out of buildings or their safe houses or their shortcuts. But I'm not surprised nefarious people are using the Undercity as for nefarious goals. I can provide you. Hold on. Now, I can provide you at least. Do you have a map of the area you're looking to go for?
Do I have a map that I've copied down at some point? I don't recall.
No.
Okay. Then no.
Oh, what she does is she roots through and she gives you a map of what they have mapped of the Undercity, and at least from their research, what they theorize the Undercity to look like. Mostly that map will be useful later if you have it. It will give you advantage on investigations and survival checks and so on if you get there.
Sure. Noting it. Thank
If
you
all
for
can-
that.
Oh, I am happy to. I do keep a few on hand. First and second years are always losing copies, so I
Can only
pay
imagine.
I pay a number of my interns to churn copies out pretty regularly.
We also
No.
hear that you're pretty informed on Celestial as a language.
I know Celestial and a few other languages, yes.
Would you mind taking a look at a couple passages I've noted down?
Sure. Of course. I mean, you're taking my time. I might as well see if it's something interesting. So what do you show her?
I'll show her the. Where is it in my notes? Oh, it's up here. Yeah, the tattoo with the code and the tentacle monster that
Okay.
was depicted.
Hold on.
See what she thinks of that.
Alright. This has only been shared with you, so I would say at this point, Shyla is able to see it now. Alright.
Took a while to copy.
Yeah. Shyla, in your handouts, you look over Uzur's shoulder at it is Cultist Tattoo.
Cultist tattoo.
What?
Who was that?
That was me. I said "wat" when
Oh.
I heard cultist tattoo.
Yeah, you don't get to see it. You're not there.
I found it on one of the cultists at the magistrate's place that was dead.
Uzur has not shared that with everybody yet, so...
I say through the ring of whispers, if it's
You
within
are-
range.
You are
the
nowhere
word penis.
close.
We're
You
looking
are
off to the
nowhere-
sides of the city.
But
Yeah.
can he hear me?
No.
Oh, I didn't realize that had a range. Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Like 500 feet or something like that.
Yeah, it's 500 feet, sir.
Damn. Well, then I say the word penis to Blackfeather.
No, Blackfeather's even further than 500 feet away from you, sir.
Yeah, you're all the way to the
Shit.
whorehouse. Come back up.
I'm in
Whoever's in
deep.
the whorehouse with you.
All right.
Nobody.
With that, she takes a while. She goes, and you see her actually pull out a number of notebooks from different pockets. Once again, Uzur, you are getting a bit of a nerd chub at this point. Like, so many notebooks. Oh my god. She starts going back and forth, referencing between them. Takes her a little while, but she then informs you, unfortunately, this is not celestial or draconic. It is actually a dialect of known as abyssal.
Abyssal.
Fortunately,
That's-
I am only able to do this from seeing other references to abyssal, but I personally do not know it. It is one of the rarer languages to know. I just know one or like very small pieces of phrasing. The iconography is definitely referring to one of the sleeping gods, or it may be the lost one. You do see some reference to him in some things. Unfortunately, that is all I can really tell you at this point.
Well, it's more than I knew before. I don't suppose you know anyone who would be more specialized in abyssal as a language or sort of area of study.
Let's see. Well, nobody here at the university. There are a few arcanists and linguist scholars in Neolia. There is, I believe there was Lord Hemmingsworth out in his country estate outside of Nelia, a man, a more private scholar I've met before. And there was one young gentleman I met some time ago. Oddly, he was an entertainer of sorts. Had a unique instrument with many ancient runes I've never seen before, and I remember he had a tradition towards wearing a large head wrapping with a coin that actually had abyssal on it. His name began with I believe it was a B. I mean, I talked to him shortly after a lecture. He had asked a few questions. He showed a surprising amount of knowledge, but I was unfortunately late for a meeting with the dean. I have not seen him since.
Very good. That is very helpful. Thank you.
Oh, I'm happy to help.
So the sleeping god.
The sleeping god, or maybe the lost god. I mean, there is mixed references to this being throughout a great deal of post Aesir literature. I mean, there is not much actually left. A lot of this is theory put together from what artifacts we've been able to recover and translate. But yes.
Alright. Well, we have something to go on there now. Was there anything else that we wanted to ask specifically, Shiloh?
No, I think that's all we can do.
Alright. Well, we appreciate your time. Thank you for all your information. It was very helpful. We won't take up any more.
Okay, thank you, Usli Shiza, I'm sorry, what?
Uzra Tinderbeard.
Uzra Tinderbeard and... Shyla, yes, of course, hold on here, Jeffrey, come here. And you see her waving down a young man walking past. If you'd be kind enough to lead these two out of the ways here, that way they don't get lost and their time is not wasted anymore than is necessary by getting out of here. Alright, well, it was nice meeting you two. If you do find any more information while you're down there, any new passages or any more of the abyssal there, I mean, I may not be able to translate it myself, but I can send it to some other colleagues, and it is an interesting piece you copied here.
You'll definitely be the first person I go to if I learn more.
Oh, thank you. You two both have a... What time is it, by the way?
Day.
12 to 2.
Oh.
Approximately.
And is it the beginning of the week, end of the week? Did I miss... Madeline, did I miss a lecture again? And she starts to ignore you guys and talking to Madeline and...
Sure.
Yeah. Alright, you two head out.
Follow Jeffrey, I guess.
Alright, and Jeffrey starts leading you guys out. Do you want to go anywhere else at the university, or...
No, that's our 2 people allotment.
Yeah, I think the other people wouldn't be as useful.
Yeah.
Who'd we get? Let's see.
You got Blood Tusk and...
So when we didn't talk to Iron Kettle, but he's the Historic Society head.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think we learned a lot of history from the 2 of them combined. I don't think we're gonna learn much more. What do you think?
I agree.
All right. Yeah, I guess we well, we didn't really have a meetup place, did we? Just back to the inn, I suppose.
And surely they'll be there. Everybody gets hungry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is getting past lunchtime at this point.
Starved.
Starting to feel it.
Alright, you all head back to the inn. Adventure have you? How well has your information gathering expedition, using air quotes the entire time, been going?
I actually had intentions of gathering.
Oh, I know.
information.
I'm just teasing you. So, young lady is at your table. There's a bottle of some sort of liquor of your preference there.
Excellent.
And she's making small talk with you. More just, oh, that's very interesting. Oh, you do this and this, you say. You have such
Yes.
large, So,
Large muscles.
thews,
I imagine.
muscles, thews, yeah.
I was curious to you specifically. I would assume this is I don't know, a peon of the whorehouse.
You can say whore.
No. By peon, I mean lower on the totem pole. I'm looking, as I was initially at the tea house before I knew it was a tea house. The best of the best, as it were.
So you wish to speak to, say, are you looking for like basically a courtesan? Or are you looking for?
I say to her, I am looking for the type of girl that makes house calls.
She of course wants. I don't feel like role playing this too much, so she
Don't, but
she lets you know that she of course makes house calls herself.
the one that typically makes house calls.
Are you all right? Pretty much. I'm gonna help you out here, little Roddy. You can slip her some money and then try to charisma check her at advantage, or you can try to charisma check her to try and get this information. She's working. She is working you, as her job normally entails, to try to make you happy and get money for herself.
I am going to attempt to charisma check her by my lonesome first, and then perhaps aid it with money if I should fail, which I will.
Assuredly.
But a man can only hope to get lucky. No pun intended. Here we go.
All right.
Look at that. Would you look at that?
She keeps deftly diverting the conversation back towards services she can offer, and she's a very pleasant young lady, don't get me wrong.
On a scale of 1 to 10, Zach, what am I looking at here on this lady?
A 9, a 10, depending
Holy
on your...
shit. Wait, this changes things up a bit. An adventure's gonna be fucking smitten.
I mean, she's very attractive, younger, around your age. There isn't that, of course, indefinable je ne sais quoi or anything about her, but she's very attractive.
Right. I slip her what I'm gonna I don't know if this is even worth it to a woman of her stature, but I'm gonna slip 2 gold. See where that gets me.
All right.
And I'll be like, I would like to speak to someone of tenure per se. I don't know what this is. Fucking help me. Help.
Are you looking for the madam, or just like...
So,
I don't care if it's old or young. What I'm
hold
looking
on.
for metagaming is someone who typically makes house calls. I'm going somewhere with this, I promise.
Okay, so the young lady eyes the 2 gold, looks at you, and she at this point has been speaking to you in a somewhat breathy voice, being and it kind of goes like her expression less cheery, vapid, more just and she goes, "What you're asking, dear, is you just want information?"
No. Yes and no.
No.
I'm looking for information. Then after that, then we can.
She goes, "No." She goes, "I can get the madam, but just understand, a lot of our business relies on discretion.
Well, lucky for you, discretion happens to be my middle name. So, if you wouldn't mind, what's your name, dear?
With that, her name is Alicia, and
Okay.
I want you to make a charisma check.
Uh-oh.
Please, dice, please, please. All right, okay,
Above
all
average.
right.
She smiles and she goes, "Well, that's an interesting name, Adventure Discretion. I'd love to know what your last name is."
You'll find out momentarily if you help me out here.
I will go ask the madam if she wishes to talk to you. She walks away. You wait a little bit. And out from the kitchen comes a woman, plain clothes, kerchief on her hair, holding it back, with a rag, kind of wiping her hands down, and down plops next to you what appears to be the cook. And she looks at you and goes, "So, son, you wanted to talk?"
I don't usually do much talking, but yes.
Well, Alicia says you need some information. Now, normally I don't go answering questions, but there's been a lot going on in town lately. Hear rumors.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, just hear rumors. Jaegers got hit. So the magistrate up the hill.
Yeah, I heard about that as well. Now again, give me another rating here, Zach. This is the cook, but I need it's important.
Making what do you want to know?
I need to know if this is the lady that makes house calls. I need to know how attractive she is for adventure's sake.
She's more matronly, I believe. She may have once been a 9, now probably a 6 or a 7. She's up in years.
Got it. Okay. All right. She makes the house calls. Okay. I casually and in a heartfelt manner give her and allow her to clutch a piece of platinum in her hand, and I asked her specifically, has any one of yours or you been to the warehouse district lately?
She looks down at the platinum in her hand, looks up at you and goes, "Dearie, that is sweet, but Alyssa let you know she was gonna go get the madam. I make a bit more than that for just a few hours of work, dearie."
I feared as much.
It is sweet, but I can tell you're not very good at this.
Inexperienced, to say the least.
Now, son, unless you can give me a mighty compelling reason to talk to you about some stuff, I suggest you either let Alicia come back, avail yourself of her charm and talents, or you finish up your drink and you head on your way.
All right, Zach. What role do I have to ace in order to charm up my way into an answer here?
It would be a charisma check, and at this point, you'd be rolling a disadvantage, big guy.
Could I could hope for a miracle? No, it's not going to happen. I will, for the sake of the team, Yeah, I'm gonna make this sacrifice here. I'm going to not step away, but perhaps lean away for a moment. Jesus Christ! And I will put a sack of, let's say, 200 gold, right on the table there, and let her feel it and weigh it with her hands and look at her intently without saying a word.
Touch his sack, basically.
All right, she doesn't reach a hand out to it. She looks at it. She goes, all right. It's a nice amount of money. You get one question. Make a charisma check with advantage. And ask your question.
Ask the question first or roll first?
Roll first and then ask your question.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
One question.
One question. Hold on. 1 second.
Gotta think about this.
Hamster barbarian.
Barbarian is trying to.
Where in the warehouse district have you or your girls been lately?
She stops and she thinks. She looks at you. She goes, dear, none of the girls that I have here need to work in the warehouse. And that's all she says. As she gets up, she picks her towel up, picks up the 200 gold. But she says, but, just so you know, there is one building we have gone to near the warehouses. And with that, she slips you. Alright, if it shows up, if it doesn't, I'm gonna... There you go. If you look right here, she gives you the address and the name of a building and who she had gathered had paid her girls to go there.
I stand and as uneloquently as possible
Take your
attempt
pants
to attempt to kiss this girl on the cheek.
She lets you, pats you on the cheek, and says, "Now, dearie, I gotta get back to work. The cook called and sick. You're welcome to stay or go. That is up to you."
I'll take an ale for the road.
All right. Mark another silver off your money.
Sure.
What's a silver at this point?
Yep.
It was worth it.
Yeah, it was. Like, you found the place.
Well, let's hope.
Yeah.
You found Lyceum Limited.
Oh, that's one of the places we were looking for.
Yep. All right. And you know what? With that, I will say, everybody heading back to the inn?
Yes.
All right. We'll say the rest of that activity took up definitely the 2 to 4 time period. We'll say the inn, food, necessities, sharing information, which we will cover at the beginning. Next session will be the 4 to 6 time period. So just, I would say, start thinking about what steps you guys want to take next, as you guys are going to be moving into the 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. time block for the next game.
Beautiful.
Yep, you guys have potential entry points into the Trading Customs Office, a invitation to speak to a very scary, dangerous, and old guild of assassins, and at least some hints as to some stuff to do once you get down there and how dangerous it's going to be. And so probably next session we will close out day 1 and be heading into day 2.
Yay!
Alright.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I had to give you something on a 20, sir. Like, had to give you something. And I think Pourquoi fell asleep. Sorry,
Oh
buddy.
yeah, I fell asleep a long time ago.
Sorry. I promise more action soon.
I think that was even across the board.
Yeah, we just haven't done combat for a little while.
Yeah, there was 0 combat, but a lot of good. Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
yeah,
When
it
it's
was a good
going.
session.
All right, everybody. Well, you have a good night. I will say we are roughly scheduled, as always, for 2 weeks from now. If anything would prevent that, please let me know sooner than later. And I will also share now the info for the alternate game, so that way if we ever run into a scenario where we have too few players to continue the campaign for the night, we can try another game.
Sure.
Cool.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.
Later.
See you in 2
Bye.